Okay, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Bet Goodwin Oxford Stadium, and thank you for joining us here on Oxford TV, sorry, as tonight we bring you live championship action as our own SD Timo Carsell Cheetahs, well, they're entertaining the Eloise travel Scunthorpe Scorpions. The Cheetahs have progressed nicely, safely through in the initial rounds of the BSN Series and the KO Cup to start off their 2025 season, but tonight we'll see them start their Cab Direct Championship campaign against a team in Scunthorpe that have already raced a couple of league meetings, recording a home victory against the Glasgow Tigers and also suffering an away defeat at the hands of the reigning champions, the Poole Pirates. But I think many people will succumb to that this season, many teams. These two teams have already gone head-to-head in 2025, with the Cheetahs coming out on top 97 points to 83 on aggregate in the quarterfinal of the KO Cup. But we'll take a little bit of a deeper look into those meetings as we get close to tapes up. My name's Lee Kilby, and I'm really looking forward to talking you through tonight's action. Hopefully we get 15 heats, possibly 16 if we end up with a draw of pulsating speedway. We've got two good sides. There's one change in the lineup, which we'll go through in due course. Weather here is, it's been dry all day. Sun's been out. We're about a good 15 or 16 degrees now. The cloud is just starting to cloud over a little bit, but it's dry. There's about a 10-mile-an-hour wind whipping its way across the circuit. But looking now down from my vantage point and the track walk that I took earlier on, there's plenty of moisture, plenty of water in that surface. And I have to say the track looks fantastic. I do take a walk on this track plenty, and tonight I thought when I was walking around that it looked really, really good. So yeah, grippy starts, nice grippy outside line. We're all set. We've got two quality sides. Let's talk our way through the teams. We'll have a look at the home side first. Obviously we've got our Oxford Cheetahs. We've got Sam Masters, captain of the side. He's in at number 1. We have a guest at number 2, Danyon HUME. He's in as Jonas Knudsen, where he's racing over in Denmark. So Danyon HUME will come in as a guest in the number 2 spot. Cameron Heeps, he's in at 3. Number 4, Francis Gusts. Now Francis is interesting because he started the season as a Spire, of course, and then due to a couple of rider changes in there, Craig Cook come in. Francis dropped out of the side, but he's now back in with the Cheetahs. We'll talk a bit more about him as the night goes on. Jordan Jenkins, he's at 5. He takes on the heat leader role tonight. And then at reserve, we've got Mitch McDIARMID and Luke Killeen, 2 riders that are very, very much in the ascendancy at the moment. Luke needs to just start getting a few more points at this level, and that will help him progress as well in that top flight with the Spires. So that is how the home side are looking. Obviously, Peter Schroeck, he's the manager. He manages all 3 sides here. Does a fantastic job, busy job. Hard to keep up with one team, let alone 3. But yeah, Peter does a great job, and I spoke to him earlier on, and he's optimistic about his chances tonight. He knows what Scunthorpe bring. He's obviously seen them already a couple of times. So let's take a look at the away side, the Eloise travel Scunthorpe Scorpions. They're managed by David Howe. They've got a really recognisable rider in Steve Worrall at number 1, haven't they? It's good to see Steve back in the sport. He about to pull out, not midway through, early days of the season last season when he was unwell. He had an illness that stopped him from racing. But thankfully he's back and he's taking on that number 1 race jacket for the Scorpions. Number 2 is the first of the Kennedy brothers, Declan Kennedy. He comes in at number 2. His brother Zaine is at number 3. He's in that engine room of the team with Connor Mountain at 4. Jake Allen, he has that second heat leader race jacket, and Jake on his day can beat everybody and anybody. We know that. We've seen him do that, and I'm sure he'll be able to do that again tonight if he gets the opportunity. And then down at reserve, Luke Harrison now. He's had a couple of big scores of late. He's riding really well in the National League, scoring big points, and he's just started to find his feet for Scunthorpe as well. And number 7, Simon Lambert, captain of the side. Simon, he's just dropped down into the reserves. They've had a bit of a reserve shuffle. It was the Kennedy brothers for a little while, but now Luke Harrison has moved from 2 down into reserve, and Simon Lambert as well. He's dropped down into reserve, and of his own admission, I think that'll do Simon the world of good. He'll have a good run down there at reserve, and I'm sure he'll score some points for Scunthorpe. And as we said, David Howe, he's the team manager here, former rider, of course. Good rider in his day, David. He's enjoying management. He stepped into it last year. Yeah, when I spoke to him and the Scunthorpe Scorpions were here earlier in the season, he was really enjoying that role. And he's up for that challenge. So that's the 2 sides. That's how they look. Like I said, this is Oxford's first meeting in the Cab Direct Championship. Scunthorpe have already ridden 2 meetings. They won at home to Glasgow, but they lost away on the road at Poole. Again, that's going to be a tough place for most people to go this season. So just looking at the 2 lineups, there was 3 rider changes for Oxford coming into this season. Scott Nichols, through injury more than anything, he stepped aside. Ashton Bowden, he moved up to Glasgow. And then there was a combination of Henry Atkins and Adam Royne, and they were in at the reserve berth last year for Oxford. And in has come Jonas Knudsen. Now, Jonas has just started to find his feet in the main body of the team here. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight because he's riding in Denmark. So he came in, and then we'll see how Danyon HUME does for him tonight. In this fixture earlier in the season, Jonas only scored, I think, 4, paid 5. We'll check that in a moment, but you know, Danyon will be hoping that he can replicate that and score those kind of points from number 2. Dan Gilks came into the side. He had a few guest bookings at the end of last season. The crowd took to Dan. I think Dan took to the crowd, and he was almost a shoe-in for the team this season. Unfortunately, he's picked up that injury, which will keep him out for probably another month or so. So that's his Francis Gusts come in, and it was Mitch McDIARMID. He was the third rider that came in, and big things expected from Mitch. He's an exciting young rider, and even though he might not have scored the points that he would have liked this season, definitely his style, his attitude, his commitment on track, he's really starting to become a fan favourite here as well. So Francis Gusts, that'll be interesting to see Francis. He scored well in the away meeting that he's ridden for the Cheetahs. He'll be wearing his Spires race suit tonight, and I can see him walking out over the track there as the riders come out for parade. He'll have his Spires suit on, but I think this is a good level for Francis. He'll definitely score points at this level. And it's great that Oxford have been able to retain him in a capacity, you know, whether it's the Spires, the Cheetahs. It's just great to see him be able to continue his relationship here with Oxford. So yeah, the two sides, they obviously met home and away in the Knockout Cup. The meeting here was 55-35, so it was a big win for the Cheetahs that day. That was the first leg, and then the second leg up at Scunthorpe, Scunthorpe won by 6 points, 48-42. So it was a 97-83 aggregate win over the two meetings. But here, the tail of the meeting there was Sam Masters. He picked up 14 points. Dan Gilks and Jordan Jenkins, they were both unbeaten with paid 12-point maximums in the middle of the team. That's what did the damage that day. Cam Heeps, he picked up 8 points. Stevie Worrall, he picked up 9 that day. Zaine Kennedy down at reserve, he was 7, paid 8. So they've got riders that they know can ride this track. I think everyone's been impressed with Zaine returning to the team, and obviously his brother Declan as well has done very well. It'll be interesting to see how they go tonight now that they've moved up into the main body of the team. As the meeting progresses, that will become apparent. So the riders out on parade now. What we will do is I will just listen in and see if I can hear what the two captains have to say, Simon Lambert and Sam Masters, and then we'll try and pick up who wins the coin toss, what gates they choose, and then I can fill my programme in as we go. Long we'll be heading into heat number 1. Dave Watters, he's our referee this evening. Quick Q&A there with Simon. Sam Mars has been in incredible form, Sam. His points so far this season for the Cheetahs has been 14, 13, 2 15-point maximums, a 16 and a 12. That's incredible form. Took over the captaincy in Scott Nicholls' absence, and he's doing a fantastic job and is out-and-out number 1 at this level, no question about that. Right, so here we go with the coin toss. Let me just listen in and see if I can pick up what we get. So Simon Lambert and Scunthorpe win the toss, and they take gates 1 and 3 in heat number 1. So as most of you will already know, as we get to the back end of the meeting, that means that Oxford will get the pick in heat 15. So it'll be 1 and 3 for Scunthorpe in heat number 1. And then the gate positions will ebb and flow as the meeting continues. And what we've noticed here, I had Luke Killeen on the mic with me. If you listened into the Chargers meeting that we had on Sunday, Luke was saying that every gate offers something. You know, even if you can't trap and make the gate, there's lines here around those first and second turns where you can either cut back, go round. So we tend to find by the end of the meeting a winner off of every gate here. And that may just play into Oxford hands when they get to the back end of this meeting. They'll know that they're in the ascendancy when it comes to that gate position in 15 if the meeting's nice and close. So we'll see Sam Masters and Steve Worrall. They'll be out in heat number 1. They're two of the outstanding riders in this division. Like we say, Declan Kennedy, he's moved up out of reserve into the main body. He has raced 1 meeting so far in the main body of that team. He picked up a couple of points. Yeah, he got 2 points from that position. And that was actually against Oxford in the second leg of that KO Cup. So the riders will just get a quick intro to the crowd now. The sun is blaring over this track this afternoon. Beautiful conditions. I have to say, like I said on the intro, the track looks really good. I walked 3/4 of it and it just looks smooth. There's plenty of grip on it. There's a nice outside line. Start's not so ripped up tonight when you look down on the start line. The work hasn't gone on to them like it normally does. A couple of meetings ago, the starts were ripped. That was a Spires meeting, it has to be said. But they're looking really smooth, and we'll see how those gates develop. So the riders get to put in a couple of practice starts, a couple of laps. Can't really race in anger, but they do get the opportunity just to put in a couple of starts, get a feel for the bike. And they can obviously dive back into the pits, check the clutches, make some adjustments if they need to. And then before we know it, we'll be on to heat number 1, this Cab Direct Championship. Still very early days, but everybody's going to want to be getting points on the board. And Scunthorpe will see it as an advantage having been here already. I know they succumbed to a 20-point defeat that day, but they would have taken something away from that meeting, I'm sure. They have a good feel for how the track was that day. And whether it's different today, they might already have the setups ready to go. The red flags come out. That's the end of that parade. That's the end of their practice starts. And the boys will be back into the pits, and we'll see Sam Masters and Steve Worrall, as we said. Declan Kennedy and Danyon HUME out in heat number 1. There is one other fixture this evening, which is the second leg of the Cup. Second leg of the KO Cup. Paul entertained Plymouth. That was an initial 49-41 win for Plymouth down at the Coliseum over Paul. And they'll be contesting that second leg. Plymouth will do very well to hold on to that 8-point lead. As the meeting ticks by, we'll just keep you up to speed with that one. So just looking down the two lineups and how they've done so far. No 2 minutes yet. Yeah, Sam Masters, he's been plundering double figures in every meeting. Jonas Knudsen, he was having a good run. He was just starting. He picked up a couple of 7s and a 9 in recent weeks. So the fact he's not here tonight is a bit of a shame. Dan Gilk's the same. Dan's picked up a 10, a 7. He's had a couple of good scores. So he's going to be a bit of a miss. It all depends on how Francis Gusts comes in. He rode very well here. He scored 9+1 against Kings Lynn in the KO Cup for the Spires. So let's see if he can transfer that form to the Cheetahs. And then in that engine room of the team, Jordan Jenkins, he's been in the middle of that team, but he's dropped down to number 5 now. He's at that second heat leader position, so he'll appear in heat 13 with Sam Masters a bit later on in the evening. And Jordan Jenkins will be hoping he can score big and find himself in heat 15 as well. Let's see how that develops. Just looking at the changes that Scunthorpe made, they retained the core of their side as well. Kyle Howarth moved out along with Michael Palmtoft and Nathan Ablett. They were the 3 riders that made way for the Kennedy brothers and Steve Worrall coming in. But they very much kept the core of their team. Rob Godfrey and David Howe. They were very successful last year. They were very lucky. They went far in the cup competitions and in the playoffs as well. Actually lost the semi-final of the playoffs of the KO Cup, to Paul, and then Oxford obviously lost the final to Paul last year. Paul had a clean sweep. But they finished 3rd in the league, Scunthorpe, last year, which was a terrific effort from them. And that primary reason for Rob Godfrey keeping the core of his side together. They'll be hoping they can have another good run this season. The track certainly does give us some excellent racing up there in Scunthorpe. So, 2 minutes are on. We will be moving on with heat number 1, this Cab Direct Championship fixture. As we said, top of that, Steve Worrall, he'll go for 3, Declan Kennedy off for 1, so they have won the toss. Let's see if that works out for Scunthorpe early doors in this one. The riders are just coming around to tapes. We are going to see. On the inside in yellow is going to be Declan Kennedy. Off gate 2 in blue will be Danyon HUME. Off gate 3 in white will be Stevie Worrall. And off of the outside in red will be Sam Masters. So 1 and 3, Scunthorpe 2 and 4. For Oxford, Bet Goodwin, they're our sponsors of heat number 1. 55 seconds or so for the riders to get round. Have a quick look at the tapes, see where they're at. Seconds or so, the start marshal will bring him into line. Oxford will be looking to get off to a good start. If you can make a good start in heat 1, all it does is just take a little bit of pressure off of your reserves in heat 2. If you're on the wrong end of a 4-2 or 5-1 in heat number 1, it immediately puts a bit of pressure on those boys coming out in heat number 2. So here we go, Sam Masters, Danyon HUME, Steve Worrall, Declan Kennedy, heat number 1, Oxford against Scunthorpe. Cab Direct Championship, green light comes on, tapes go up and away we go, and it's a great start off of Danyon HUME, but round comes Stevie Worrall to take up the lead. Sam Masters looking round the outside of his teammate, and he's going to go big into turns 3 and 4, and he gets a really nice run all the way around the outside of Steve Worrall. Steve Worrall just lifts a tiny bit on that back wheel coming off, that just scrubbed off a little bit of his speed. But he's got a battle out front. Sam Masters red, Steve Worrall in white, Danyon HUME's tucked into third. Declan Kennedy just cut adrift a little bit at the back at the moment. But the front three staying nice and close. I tell you what, does Steve Worrall stick or does he twist? Does he try and push Sam Masters and go into the last couple of laps? If he makes a mistake, Danyon HUME is right there on his back wheel. Really close action here without any kind of moves being played as yet. And I tell you what, Declan Kennedy's not a million miles away in 4th position either. 1 lap to go. Sam Masters looking good. Quick look over his shoulder. He's out front. 2nd place, Steve Worrall. That's how it's going to end. Really close, but no fireworks. Sam Masters with the win. Steve Worrall 2nd. Danyon HUME a close 3rd. And to be fair to Declan Kennedy, well, he was a close 4th. But nobody could just get up to challenge the rider in front of them. But Sam Masters, well, he did the work on that opening turn. Got himself into the lead, and that is where he stayed. Tapes the flag for him, comes round to take the applause from the crowd. Just have a quick look at the gates. Sam Masters with the win, Steve Worrall in 2nd, Danyon HUME, he picks up that 3rd place, and it was Declan Kennedy at the back. It's a 4-2 opening heat, 4-2 overall, 1 heat gone. Good start for Sam Masters. But to be fair to all 4 riders there, they were on the pace, they were on the back wheel of the rider in front. But nobody could just get up to challenge, to make a move on the rider in front of them. Real tapes the flag for Sam, to be honest. He looked really good out front. Stevie Worrall was on his back wheel. First couple of laps he was really close all over the back of him. He just lifted coming off of turn 4, and that just seemed to scrub a little bit of a speed off when he might have put a bit of a challenge in. But yeah. All good from an Oxford perspective in heat number 1, but I think all those riders will take something away from that. And we'll help them set up and get ready for their next heat. So heat number 2, Dave Watter's referee, he's got that 2 minutes on. Riders already on track. Always plenty of enthusiasm early on in the meeting for the riders to get round to tapes, I find. It's later on in the meeting when they've had a couple of rides, things have gone a little bit awry at times. That is when things change, and you tend not to see them come round so quickly. So here we go, the boys rolling into tapes. What we are going to see is Mitch McDIARMID in red. He'll be off the inside for Oxford. Off gate 2 in white will be Luke Harrison. He's in good form at the moment for Scunthorpe. Gate 3 in blue will be Luke Killeen. Luke needs some points tonight. We're all rooting for him to do that. And off of gate 4 will be Simon Lambert. So for these boys, they've moved themselves down into reserve for the Scunthorpe side, and they will now be hoping that they can transfer that form into reserve points. That's what they need. When you drop down into reserve, your manager's looking for you to go big and get those points. So a pretty even race, this one. Keep Good Constructions, they're our sponsor of heat number 2. It will be interesting to see how this one pans out. Luke Killeen has had speed in his bikes. He's just not been able to get the points to transfer that speed into points. And Mitch McDIARMID, like I said, he was practicing on Sunday afternoon after the Chargers meeting. He was out on the track. Maybe he put in 2 or 3 equivalent, what with 2 or 3 races. Me and Luke Killeen were watching up here from our vantage point in the comms box, and he looked good, he looked fast, and he's an exciting rider. So we are Mitch McDiarmid with Luke Killeen, Luke Harrison and Simon Lambert. Heat number 2, 4-2 on the board. Start marshal's happy, he walks away. Green light comes on, takes up on heat number 2, and it's an even break going up, but Mitch McDiarmid gets that pull. Keep an eye on Luke Killeen. Will he get the run around the outside of Luke Harrison? Yes, he does, into second place. Nice line there from Luke. Looking good for the Cheetahs. Whoa, that's really close from Simon Lambert. Luke Harrison up the inside of Luke Killeen. And I tell you, Luke's got some work cut out here because he's going to want to try and make a move on Luke Harrison in front of him. But Simon Lambert's got the speed and he's all over the back of him. While those three are battling for what is essentially second and third, here comes Simon Lambert up the inside of Luke Killeen. Luke looks to repay the favour straight away and just locks up a tiny bit. Mitch McDiarmid, he's out. He's out front, he's stolen a march, he's pulling away. The Scunthorpe boys have battled their way into second place ahead of Luke Killeen, who did hold second place there for a while. And Luke seems to carry loads of speed going into the first turn, but then the Scunthorpe boys just seem to pull away as they come down the back straight. But let's talk about Mitch McDiarmid out front. I tell you what, Luke Killeen's gone for one last move. No, he can't make it stick. Mitch McDiarmid with a win, takes the flag for him. Second place was Luke Harrison, third was Simon Lambert. Them two had to battle really hard to get ahead of Luke Killeen, but Mitch McDiarmid looked fantastic. Was riding a really sensible line, looked really smooth, really in control. Kind of knew that he had that space between him and the boys behind. He comes round to take the applause from the crowd. Give me a chance to fill in my programme. So it was a win for Mitch McDiarmid. Second was Luke Harrison. He fought his way past Luke Killeen first. Simon Lambert joined him. He moved into third place, and unfortunately for Luke Killeen, he went backwards. Wasn't a good scoring position, but ended up at the back. So that was a 3-3 scoreline. That makes the progressive score 7 points to the home side, 5 points to the away side. Two race winners in the opening 2 heats. That will please Peter Schroeck and the home team. Yeah, from the tapes, Mitch McDiarmid made a great start. He got himself out front. And then Luke Killeen, well, he seemed to be in a really good position there, Luke, for a lap or so, but Luke Harrison went inside him. Simon Lambert went outside him. And unfortunately, that put pay to his heat. But I'm sure he'll head back into the pits, take something from that, sort the bike out and go again. Yeah, he was in the mix first. He made a great first lap, Luke Killeen. Got round the outside of Luke Harrison into second place, but then just didn't seem to have the speed. So we move on to heat number 3. And in this one, we are going to see off the inside in white is going to be Zaine Kennedy. He's moved up into the main body of the team. Off gate number 2 in blue will be Francis Gusts, making his home debut for the Cheetahs. Off of gate 3 will be Connor Mountain in yellow. And off the outside in red will be Cameron Heeps. Liquid Screed, they're our sponsors of heat number 3. 7-5 as we go. Interesting heat this to see how Zaine Kennedy does, moving up into the main body of the team, but also how Francis Gusts does here. We had one fantastic meeting here, like we said at the top of the show, where he scored, paid 10 points against Kings Lynn. Then he struggled a little bit after that, with finding points hard to come by. So the fact that he's found himself down here in the championship is probably going to be a good thing for him. So two close races, a bit of passing in that second heat, which was good to see. That's what we want. So 30 seconds to go. We're moving quickly on with this one. Start marshal calls them in. Referee will bang that green light on. Cameron Heeps, Francis Gusts, Zaine Kennedy, Connor Mountain. Tapes go up and away we go. Oh, a bit of contact going into the first turn. Yeah, I could see the writing on the wall there. Connor Mountain's come down. He will stay down. See that happening as the boys left the tapes. It was just very condensed going in there. They all made an even break, and that's the problem when all 4 make an even break from the start. You all hit that same part of the track together, and unfortunately for Connor Mountain there, he just took a flick. Down he came. But that will be all 4 back. I imagine those 2 minutes will be put on pretty quickly. Connor just slid off. He's up. He's okay. That's the most important thing. Just get a minute or so just to we can get the clutch cooler on. Just top up the fuel. But yeah, I could sense that literally from the moment the boys were 20, 30 metres away from the tapes. I could see that was going to happen. Connor's up, he's riding that right back to the pits. That's good news. There's no damage to him, no damage to the bike. And we'll have a rerun of heat number 3. We've seen it 1,000 times, we'll see it 1,000 times more. As they win. It was the middle two really, it was Francis Gusts. He was just ahead of Connor really. And just got to that part of the turn first, and Connor didn't really have anywhere to go. Maybe just a little bit of contact. Clark of the course has been out just to check the fence. No damage to the base of the air fence there. The skirt is still over the top of the shale. So we'll get to go again. I imagine both in, 2 heats in, 7-5. I imagine both managers will be quite happy so far. Sam Masters and Mitch McDiarmid with the 2 wins. But some good overtaking from Luke Harrison and Simon Lambert over Luke Killeen in that last one. And Steve Worrall looked quick and on the pace in that first one. And like we say, Declan Kennedy wasn't a million miles away either. But that number 2 race jacket, when you come out of the reserve, you obviously get the averages, and that changes your lineup. So the 2 riders that have dropped down, Harrison and Lambert there, you don't get no easy rides really, but they obviously get that heat number 2 to try and get some points on the board. But when you move out of the reserve and you go up into that number 2 spot, it's so difficult. You know, you've done so well to get out of reserve and score a few points. You find yourself in that number 2 spot where there's literally no easy rides. And points then become quite tricky to come by, especially on away matches. It's a bit different at home when you're on your home circuit, track you know really well, but when you go to an away track, that's when you come up against, in this case it would have been Sam Masters and Jonas Knudsen, but yeah, Danyon picked up a point in that first one. You just come up against riders that know the track so well. You've got to be on your A game to pick up some points. So if you bought the stream tonight, thank you very much for doing so. It is copyright of Oxford TV and Oxford Speedway. So if you've bought the stream, paid for the stream and you're enjoying it, that is what we expect and would like to see. We cannot copy this in any way. We don't have the resources to send anybody around to your house, but if we did, we would. We'd have that turned off. So thank you very much for joining us. If you're a Scunthorpe fan that just couldn't get down to tonight's meeting, welcome. We hope your boys put on a good show for you. If you're an Oxford fan and you just couldn't get here tonight either, maybe watched the stream before, we're glad to have you back. If it's just a Speedway fan that needed a fix, welcome. We hope you enjoy the meeting. The boys put on some entertaining racing for us. We've got some fantastic sponsors here at Oxford this season. SD Timo Car Sales, they're sponsoring the Cheetahs. Bet Goodwin, who obviously sponsor the stadium here with the Greyhound Racing. And they back the Spies in the Premiership. And we've got the Real Mini Company Chargers down in the National League. A company run by Spencer Timo. He used to race for the club many years ago, as did his dad, as did his father Rick. 2 minutes back on. And we'll get rolling with heat number 3, rerun of heat number 3. Jake Allen scored 18 points when he was here last season. So they know what Jake's capable of. He can score big here. Connor Mountain, he got 12 points over the 2 meetings last season as well. He's got the ability to pick up some decent points here. But we look to go again on heat number 3. Liquid Screed, they sponsor heat number 3 here for the Cheetahs. Off the inside in white is going to be Zaine Kennedy. Off of gate number 2 in blue will be Francis Gusts for Oxford. Gate 3 in yellow will be Connor Mountain. And it'll be Cameron Heeps. He will be in the red helmet colour off of gate number 4. We've had a winner off of gate 1 and we've had a winner off of gate 4. Both from an Oxford persuasion. Let's see what can happen here in heat number 3. Whether Zaine Kennedy or Connor Mountain can jump out the start. Or whether Cam Heeps can record a 3rd red heat win for the home side. Let's wait and see. 30 seconds or so. Just starting to cloud over here now a little bit. No threat of rain, but that sun that was blasting everybody has now gone in. That'll probably help just to keep a bit of that moisture in that track. Hopefully help to keep the dust down. So here we go, rerun of heat number 3. Connor Mountain bit the dust in the first run in. He's up and okay. Cameron Heeps, Francis Gusts, Zaine Kennedy, Connor Mountain, Heeps up on Heeps, Francis Gusts must have a problem there because he's missed that completely. But keep an eye on Cameron Heeps. Really tough first 2 turns from him, down that back straight, into the lead, ahead of Zaine Kennedy and Connor Mountain. But Zaine Kennedy putting it back up the inside of Cam here. But Cameron Heeps finds himself, Francis Gusts has got bite problems at the back, but I tell you what, Cameron Heeps has really got work to do. Zaine Kennedy is all over that exhaust pipe, he is all over the back. Yeah, Francis Gusts just pulled in, so Cam's running solo, got a couple of laps to hold on to this lead. Zaine Kennedy is not going to give him a minute's peace here, he's all over the back of him. Cam does just manage to pull away a little bit down that back straight there. Connor Mountain sat comfortable in third, he's unchallenged for that single point. With a lap to go, I'm not sure Zaine Kennedy's got enough in the tank to get up and challenge Cam. I think this is going to be a pretty straightforward last lap for him. He's ran solo since Francis Gusts had a problem from the start line really, but another red race win for the Cheetahs. Cameron Heeps takes the flag. Engine failure for Francis Gusts. Zaine Kennedy pushed him all the way there, but it is another 3-3. No lap of honour for Cam, he's straight into the pits. And that's 3 race wins, 3 red helmet colours crossing the checkered flag. Oxford, Peter Schroeck, they'll be more than happy with that. It's a shame for Francis Gusts because he looked really fast in the opening of that heat. Cameron Heeps with the win. Zaine Kennedy got the 2nd place, Connor Mountain in 3rd, and Francis Gusts had an engine failure early on, so he dropped out. So it was a 3-3 scoreline. That makes the progressive score 10 points to the home side, Oxford, and 8 points to the away side, Scunthorpe. But yeah, disappointing. Really well done from Cam Heeps there. Looked good out front. He was under lots of pressure from Zaine, but he held his line, rode a nice, sensible race. Didn't push it, didn't go off that line too much really. But Francis Gusts looked really quick in the first run. But you can see from the tapes, he definitely had a problem when he came out at the start there. And then, yeah, managed to pootle around for a lap, and then he just pulled into the centre green and left Cam to go it alone. Didn't cause Cam any problems, he took the checkered flag. But it's only a 2-point gap after 3, so we've got a nice close race here, nice close meeting. We will move, the ref's got the 2 minutes on already. We've got the Oxford boys there already at tapes. We're going to see off the inside in yellow is going to be Simon Lambert. Yeah, it certainly is no changes at reserve there for them. Off of gate 2 will be Luke Killeen. Yeah, Luke's out for his 2nd ride as well. Off of gate 3 in white will be Jake Allen for Scunthorpe. And Jordan Jenkins moving into that number 5 race suit. He's going to be off of gate number 4, red helmet colour. Nuffield Health, they sponsor heat number 4 here. And it was gate 4 that worked magic for Cam Heeps in the last one. Will Jordan Jenkins be able to follow suit? Are we going to go through the first 4 heats with 4 red helmet colour race winners for the home side? Or can Jake Allen, like I say, Jake scored 18 points over the couple of meetings he raced here last year, so he knows this track. Can attack this track. Simon Lambert, he's got a race under his belt where he beat Luke Killeen. If Luke Killeen can make that jump off a 2 and get over the top of Simon Lambert and clamp him in, that might offer the opportunity for Jordan Jenkins to ride around all of them. We shall see. 30 seconds and counting. Luke Killeen made a great gate in that last one. He was really in the mix, but then just got picked off, whether he was just riding a little bit within himself, a little bit in no man's land, and just got picked off by both the Scunthorpe boys. Let's see what he can do in this one. Jordan Jenkins, Luke Killeen, Jake Allen, Simon Lambert, heat number 4. Takes go up and away we go, and it is a good gate from Simon Lambert off the inside. He's got there first. Jake Allen, his teammate, looking to join him, but Luke Killeen right round the boards. Can he put it to Simon Lambert? Going into turns 3 and 4, he certainly does. Luke Killeen's come out in front, that's a superb first lap. Now can he hold it? Just ride sensible, get your back wheel on that dirt, Luke Killeen. He's looking faster in this one and he's pulling away. I think the big surprise here, we've got Jordan Jenkins at the back. Simon Lambert and Jake Allen, they've just got to make sure they don't trip over each other. But I'll tell you what, they're all over the back of Luke here. He's just got to keep it together, ride that line, keep the wheel on that grip, which he seems to be doing. Each lap he's pulling away down that back straight. He's riding a really terrific, this would be a superb 3 points for him as he goes into the last lap. Jordan Jenkins, he's giving up the ghost at the back, but I tell you what, Luke Killeen can hold this down the back straight. into the last 2 turns, nothing silly. That's a wonderful 3 points for him. He's deserved and he's needed that. He'll be really happy with that. Luke Killeen takes the win. Jake Allen pushed him all the way in second, as did Simon Lambert in third. So it is a 3rd race win for the home side. Potentially not where we saw it coming from, but fair play to Luke Killeen. Had to work really hard on that opening lap to get himself out front. But what it does do is it gives us the 4th. Back wheel from Luke, he's happy with that. He's deserved that, he's working really hard, never gives up, always got a smile on his face. And that's a fantastic 3 points for him. Luke takes the board. It's a great win for Luke Killeen. He finished, come over the checkered flag, blue helmet colour for the home side. Second was Jake Allen for the away side, joined by teammate Simon Lambert. He was in third, that gave it the 3-3. Jordan Jenkins just didn't seem to be in the mix from that first turn, and he just drifted away and didn't complete the race. So it is another 3-3 scoreline. It keeps a 2-point gap for the Cheetahs, 13 points to 11 after 4 rides. And what it does do is it gives the home side 4 race winners. What they'll be looking to change is those last places. So 4 heats gone. I imagine Peter Schroeck would be really happy with that, and he'd be delighted for Luke Killeen. He made the start, and he rode a really tough first 2 turns, got himself on that run, and he didn't look much space down that back straight, but he managed to get himself in between the Scunthorpe boys and that safety fence and shot around the outside of Jake Allen and Simon Lambert, who for a couple of laps really pushed him right on his back wheel, pushed him hard, but Luke just kept his head. And again, when you're chasing points and you find yourself out front, it can be a bit panicky. You can put yourself under pressure, but he did superbly to hold on to those 3 points. But with Scunthorpe packing in for 2nd and 3rd, after that initial 4-2 in heat number 1, it's been 3-3s all the way. And I'm sure David Howe and his Scunthorpe team will take that. So we will just have a bit of a break. The Bowser's out, I'm sure we'll bring the tractor out. Just do a bit of work, but the track seems to be riding quite nice. We've seen a bit of overtaking in the first few heats. As I look down onto the track from where I am, you can still see a really nice blend of deeper, darker shale on the outside, and then obviously it's just the majority of the laps have been done on the inside. But we've seen what Luke Killeen has done around that outside. If you put your back wheel outside on turns 1 and 2, you can get a really good run off that dirt line, and you can carry your speed down the back straight. It's been a real highlight for me this last couple of seasons is if you can come off of turn 2 in the right place and just jet propel down the back straight and you've got to be brave going into turn 3. You've really got to drive in hard to carry your speed around the boards. If you do that, you will come out front, as Luke Killeen has just perfectly shown us. So just do a little bit of track work. Just give me the opportunity to log in and see what's going on down at Wimborne Road. And we've had the same amount of races there. Actually, we've had 3 there so far, and it's 12-6 to the home side, so they're already eating into that lead that Plymouth have got. Plymouth lead now on aggregate is only 2 points. They look to progress in the Knockout Cup. Mitchell Clough winning heat number 2. That'll be a big feather in his cap. He's needed some points down for Plymouth. Mitchell Clough, especially away from home. Nikolai Plymouth picking up a 2nd in heat number 1. Not surprised to see Richard Lawson winning 1. Anders Rowe winning from 3. And they're just preparing to come out for 4. So we'll keep an eye on that meeting as we tick by here. We'll just do a little bit of track work. Wayne Hutt and Jamie Courtney out now. Again, just looking down from my vantage point here, you've got a crowd all the way along the home straight. And a little bit of banging, that little bit of terracing that you've got on that home straight is always pretty packed. A lot of people beavering around in turns 3 and 4. There's a scattering of people. I did see a couple of, I did see at least one Scunthorpe shirt on the terraces. So fair play if someone's made the effort to come down for tonight's meeting. So as we kind of mentioned and talked about, we've had a winner off of gate 1, we've had a winner off of gate 2, and we've had 2 winners off of 4. So you can gate and win from any of these gates here. That's the thing. Francis Gusts, he'll be off gate 3 in the next one. Then it'll be Luke Harrison, Mitch McDIARMID. So my shout is by heat 7 we'll have a winner for 3 as well. Let's see if that comes in. 4 heat winners for the home side, they'll be really pleased with that. 4 second places for the away side. That's the difference. If you can pack into second and third, no last places. Always a big thing if you can avoid that last place. So, tractors out. And just be looking to even out that shell a little bit. I don't think they'll do too much to it because it's riding quite nice. Just looking across to the pits. I've got the same view as you, but I can obviously see a little bit more. Just see a couple of huddles of Oxford riders. All the Scunthorpe riders are raced out in their own little pit bays. So it just gives them the opportunity to make any changes to the bike. Anybody that's gone out and won a heat, asking them what setups they've got, potentially looking to make a few changes. See if they can't change fortunes in their next one. So Oxford TV will be live for every home meeting this year, unless TNT are here to cover the Spires or BSN. If they're here, we step down. I might not step down, I might carry on with BSN, but we step down from doing Oxford TV for the night. And you can obviously buy the stream through BSN if they're here, and if TNT's here, you can obviously buy that package as well if you want. But BSN coverage is superb. Been a couple of changes to their calendar. So just head online, have a look what meetings are coming up. It's amazing the amount of money generated by you guys watching these streams for the clubs. One thing we like to do at Oxford is this footage does get beamed into the bar, so anybody that's sat in the bar area, they get to see the replays, they get to see the action from the TVs. Just enhances that experience for anybody that's here. So at 13:11, I would imagine that David Howe is very happy with that. Keeping it nice and close. You might have noticed when Stevie Worrall came out for his heat, I wasn't looking at the screen at the time, I was looking down onto track. We might not have had a graphic for Steve. Potentially not. We haven't. It's nothing personal, Steve. Is one of those things tonight. We just might not have your graphic in place. Shout out to Marie and Wayne there at home watching the stream. You guys are enjoying it. You didn't need to tell me you were getting ready for a holiday, though, did you? Not all of us are going on holiday. Hope you're enjoying it. Have a good one. So when we look at the table, it's still really early days. Obviously, this is Oxford's first fixture. Redcar haven't had a fixture. I think their first fixture, Redcar, will be. I think that's going to be on BSN on Friday. Their first league fixture when they'll come up against Oxford. So you can see that one live on BSN on Friday. And Workington, they've yet to race a league fixture. Edinburgh, they're bottom. They've lost a couple so far. Poole, Glasgow, there at the top. Similar picture. 4 points apiece for those two sides after a few meetings. 3 for Poole, 2 for Glasgow. But very early days, can't really pick much out of the results so far in the league table. But what I can pick is 2 riders coming around to tapes for heat number 5. 10 Tools, they sponsor heat number 5. And Francis Gusts, he's out again in this one. Hopefully he's made amends to that machine and made some changes. So we're going to see Cameron Heeps win a first time out. He's going to be off the inside in the red helmet colour. Off of gate 2 in yellow will be Declan Kennedy. Gate 3 will be Francis Gusts. looks like the same machine, so obviously just a bike issue he was able to rectify. And Stevie Worrall, second place, first time out. He will be in the white helmet colour off of gate number 4. Tang Tools, they sponsor heat number 5 here. Francis Gusts, he's off that elusive gate 3. That hasn't given me a race win yet. Because I am a bit of a stato, I do go home and look back through gate results, heat results, gate stats. I love all that. I do my best to try and keep on top of stats. A bit of a geek like that. My kids laugh at me, but I don't care. So, 25 seconds and counting until heat number 5. We've had 4 race winners so far for the home side. Can Steve Worrall end that run? Or will Cam Masters fly off gate number 1 that gave us a heat winner in heat 2? Here we go, let's wait and see. Cameron Heeps, Francis Gusts, Steve Worrall, Declan Kennedy. Green light comes on. Takes her up, and it's the Oxford boys that have made a great start. Francis Gusts and Cameron Heeps, but Steve Worrall, he's got his wheel on that grip down the back straight. Will he get ahead of Cam Heeps? Yes, he does, going into turn 3. He's going to have to push it wide. I don't think he'll get the run around Francis Gusts because he's got his back wheel on that line, out in that dirt. So it's Francis Gusts out front, Steve Worrall second, Cam Heeps third. Declan Kennedy's hugging that curb, coming off a 2, looking to get a run up the inside of Cam Heeps. Oh, Cam's got a little bit out of shape there, going into 3 and 4, but manages to hold it. And I tell you what, this is another close one for second, third and 4. Cam's moved off that line, gone a little bit wider. Has he made that work? He's reeled in Steve Worrall a little bit there. Again, he's right on that exhaust pipe. Cam Heeps, he's gone wide in turn 4, looking to get the run down the back straight with a lap to go. He's carried that speed into 1 and 2. Francis Gusts, he's out front, but the battle, I tell you what, one big corner coming up here. Cam's put it in deep, he's got the run. Can he get the speed around Steve Worrall? He might just do it, you know. Run to the line, he has. Fantastic from Cameron Heeps. Steve Worrall didn't know where to look, inside or outside. And Cameron Heeps, that's a fantastic heat from him. Brilliant win for Francis Gusts, but what a second place from Cam Heeps. Really put it to Steve Worrall. You could see over that last lap him generating more speed as he was going. And he will this time. He didn't do it in his first one when he won it, but he'll take the plaudits this time. Cam comes round to the applause of the home crowd on the home straight. Terrific second place for him, and what it does do is it gives the home side a huge 5-1. Brilliant performance from Cam Heeps. Francis Gusts, he potentially looked like he was going to do that in his opening ride, you know. He took the win, he took the 3 points. Cameron Heeps with an excellent second place. Third place was Steve Worrall, who looked over the wrong shoulder coming off of turn 4. And Declan Kennedy, he was working hard that inside line, but just couldn't get up to challenge early on in the heat, and he found himself in 4th place. So it was a 5-1. That makes the progressive score 18 points to the home side and 12 points to the away side. But Cam Heeps take a bow. Fantastic heat. Steve Worrall, I think he thought he had second place wrapped up there, but he kind of held a tighter line, didn't he, coming off a 4 for the last time. Maybe if he'd have just drifted. It's hard to know. I think it's hard to know what to do when you know that someone's generating more speed. And Cam, over the last 2 laps, really, just moved off the line. He moved out wider. He showed his hand, really, to us up here, not Steve Worrall, because he was looking the other way. And he just built that speed up, and he just got that run around the outside. Perfectly done. And coming off a 4, Steve just didn't know whether to hold it tight and try and get the run up. Sometimes you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. But superb heat. Excellent heat for the home side. Just gives us a 6-point gap now over the Scorpions. Sometimes when a rider does that, you just have to take your hats off to him. Steve Worrall didn't really do anything wrong. So we move on. We are on to heat number 6. The Real Mini Company, they sponsor heat number 6, and we are going to see Jake Allen, the number 5 for the away side. He's going to be off the inside in the white helmet colour. Next to him in red will be Sam Masters, winner first time out, off gate 2. Off gate 3 will be Luke Harrison, who looked fast in his first ride, to be fair to him. And he's starting to score big. And Danyon HUME, he will be in the blue helmet colour. 1 point first time out for Danyon. He will be in blue off gate number 4. Real Mini Company, they sponsor heat number 6. And Francis Gusts, thank you very much for giving me a heat win off of gate number 3. 5 heats, every gate is giving us a winner. That bodes well for the rest of the meeting. And he did it for the flag. Just looking down the start marshal. The 2 boys, Luke Harrison and Sam Masters, they are right on the line. Sometimes at tracks you do see two lines where the start marshal can walk between the two riders, but here at Oxford we've only got the one line, so both riders are really... Yeah, Sam Masters has changed tack now, he's looking on the inside. I think it was potentially Sam Masters that the start marshal moved over there, and you don't always see the home start marshal moving over a home rider, but I think he might have just done that then. Sam's come back. No, Sam's on the outside of his starting grid, and Luke Harrison's on the inside of his. Okay, let's see what this heat produces. Takes up and away we go on heat 6. It's a good one from Jake Allen, but Sam Masters, whoa, he's got loads of drag up into that first turn, and I think that's bolted the run of his teammate Danyon HUME. But Sam Masters is looking now early on to go around Jake Allen, but Jake moves all the way over, shuts that line off. Jake Allen out front. Sam Masters now switches to the inside, wheel over the curb, but Jake Allen, he'll get that run. And I tell you what, Danyon HUME's having to work really hard to keep Luke Harrison behind him in that third place as well. This one developing into two heats in one. Jake Allen and Sam Masters out front. Danyon HUME with Luke Harrison all over the back of him for that third place. Jake Allen just seems to gain a bit of an advantage coming off of the turn, but then Sam's bike just giving up there. No, Sam just got in a bit of trouble. Yeah, I think there might be something wrong with Sam's bike. He's hugging that curb, trying to keep a tight line, as Luke Harrison's done at the inside of Danyon HUME. But Jake Allen, he's going to be the first race winner for the away side here. Great heat from him. Just keep an eye on Luke Harrison. Is he going to do what Cameron Heeps did in the last one? No, Danyon HUME just manages to hold on. But I tell you what, I don't think Sam Masters... Whoa, Danyon just comes down there. I think Sam's got a problem. Definitely not 100% there from Sam Masters, but take nothing away from Jake Allen. Fantastic win for him. Sam Masters managed to keep upright and keep going and hold on to that second place. And it was Danyon HUME in third, so it is back to the 3-3s. So Jake Allen with the win. Wonderful heat for him. First heat winner for the away side. 3 points for him. Second place was Sam Masters. Danyon HUME had Luke Harrison all over him for the 4 laps, but he managed to hold on to third place with Luke in fourth place. It keeps that same gap, 21-15 now. 6-point lead for the home side. And Masters won't be walking away with a maximum tonight. And he picks up another solid third place, sorry. That's a good win for Jake Allen for the away side. Luke Harrison, well, he didn't give up for the full laps, Luke Harrison, he's really pushing. And it did develop into two heats with the two boys out front, Jake and Sam really going at each other for the first couple of laps until Jake managed to just pull away a little bit. And then Luke Harrison didn't give Danyon HUME a second to relax, and he pushed him all the way. And I just thought he might get a run down to the checkered flag, but he just couldn't make it work. Sam moved inside, moved outside. He tried a couple of different lines there, but because Jake was on that race line going into and around turns 1 and 2, you just get such speed and forward momentum and motion coming around 1 and 2. You've got to be outside really to try and make a run. Although we have seen Eric Riss, I've seen him do it here for the Spires, hug that curb coming off of 2 and get a run up the inside of someone down the back straight. So there are options. There's different places to try on this track. It does always give us good speedway. Jake Allen off of gate number 1. He gives us the second win off of 1 there. So the referee hasn't put the 2 minutes on yet, but the riders aren't messing around. They're coming around to tapes for heat number 7. Enley and Son Lebwork Specialists are the sponsors of this one, which will see Jordan Jenkins failed to finish the heat first time out. He'll be in red off the inside. Gate 2 will be Zaine Kennedy, white helmet colour. Mitch McDIARMID, winner first time out. He'll be off of gate 3 in blue. And it'll be Connor Mountain, yellow helmet colour. He'll be off of gate 4 in yellow for Scunthorpe. So Scunthorpe will look to hit back here. Jordan Jenkins clearly had problems in that first ride. Didn't look that comfortable on the bike. Whether he had any issues, he didn't complete the heat. Whether that's because the boys pulled away from him in front and he just gave up the ghost. We don't know, but Mitch McDIARMID looked fast. The referee's not bothered with the 2 minutes on this one because the boys are up to tapes. He'll just put the pressure now on the start marshal to get them in, get them ready. 3 of the 4 currently off the bike, doing a bit of gardening. We've got 2 wins off of gate 1, a winner off of gate 2, a winner off of gate 3 and 2 off of gate 4 so far. No excuses for any of these boys. Make the gate, get yourself in front, ride the fast line. Chance of 3 points. Here we go then. Start marshal brings him in. 6-point gap, 21.15 as it stands. Jordan Jenkins, Mitch McDiarmid, Zaine Kennedy, Connor Mountain, heat number 7. Green light comes on, referee's happy, away they go, and it's a great start from the inside. Whoa, there's contact going into the first turn. Everybody stays upright. Whoa, really close coming off the floor, turn 2 as well. But Connor Mountain, he finds himself up front from Jordan Jenkins. Mitch McDiarmid, 3rd at the moment, and Zaine Kennedy at the back. Really close as we come into lap number 2. Keep an eye on Jordan Jenkins, trying to work that inside line, but Connor Mountain's maintaining his speed around the outside as the heat just settles down a little bit. Connor Mountain out front, Jordan Jenkins 2nd, Mitch McDiarmid 3rd, and at the moment it's Zaine Kennedy in 4th place. Got a 2nd place first time out of Zaine. He'll be looking to try and get up on Mitch McDiarmid, but this heat just feels like it's settling down a little bit. Connor Mountain is riding the central line, pulling away out front. He's just got his back wheel on that dirt line, and yeah, he's using that to his advantage and pulling away. He's not going to be touched here. It's going to be a 2nd heat win on the spin for the away side. Connor Mountain, he takes a checkered flag. Jordan Jenkins 2nd, Mitch McDiarmid 3rd. And try as he might, Zaine Kennedy just can't get up to challenge. Well, another heat win for the away side. That'll be pleasing for David Howe. Good ride there from Connor Mountain. Takes him to 4 points for the meeting. So yeah, a win for Connor Mountain. 2nd place was Jordan Jenkins. 3rd was Mitch McDiarmid. And it was Zaine Kennedy at the back. So it was another 3-3. 2nd one on the spin. 2nd heat winner on the spin for the away side. Keeps it at a 6-point gap. 24-18 as we move off the back of heat number 7. And as I see Jamie Courtney walking across the centre green, that tells me just one thing. The tractor's going to be coming out. We'll do a bit of track work, get the grader out. Sponsors will be escorted off. But there was definitely contact going into the first turn that time as well. And I think that's it threw Mitch McDiarmid off more than anybody. He managed to get his wheels in line to get back ahead of Zaine Kennedy. But I did think we were going to see a similar one to Connor Mountain coming down earlier on. But Mitch McDiarmid stayed upright, got himself back into 3rd place. And Jordan Jenkins might get to challenge Connor Mountain, but Connor was in the perfect spot for the full 4 laps. We saw Jordan move to the inside to try and use that curb off of 2, but it wasn't really working, especially with Connor riding the right line down the back straight, just that little bit wider, and going in deep, and he held on. 2nd race win for the away side. Points on the board for Jordan Jenkins. Another point for Mitch McDiarmid. So 7 races in, 24-18. Yeah, we'll have a bit of Bowser, we'll have a bit of tractor, and then we'll be a bit of track grading. Give me chances to have a look at the stats. Another winner for 4. I'll tell you what, Plymouth are having a good go at Paul in the KO Cup. It's currently 17-13 there. Picks up a 4-2 in heat number 4. Ben Barker with the win. So Plymouth are having a good go against Paul in the KO Cup. They're going to try and push that all the way. So yeah, we've got some gate there, the gate stats. We've got winners off of everywhere, the inside and the outside. Are the ones that are providing the majority, but still early. We've got race winners from everywhere. Points being scored predominantly inside and outside, but again, middle of the gates. 2 and 3 are giving us some points. And yeah, opportunity from anywhere. Make the gate, get yourself out front, as Connor Mountain has shown in that last one. Just while we get a break, we'll probably have bring the individual rider scores up. Everyone's had a couple of rides now. We've gone to programme in the first 7 heats, no changes. And I would imagine it's been relatively easy. Declan Kennedy's the only one really that David Howe might be looking at. He's failed to pick up a point in his first 2. But yeah, we'll run top to bottom on the scores. We'll have a look at both sides. 5 points for Sam Masters, beaten in that 2nd ride. But yeah, 5 points solid for him. Danyon HUME picking up points in both of his rides. That's terrific for him. 2 third places. Cameron Heeps, he's unbeaten so far, winning an excellent paid win. Excellent 2nd place in his 2nd ride. Francis Gusts looked really fast in his first ride, I thought, but just couldn't make it stick, and he had a bike problem. but he won his second heat fantastically to pick up his 3 points. Jordan Jenkins, a good second place in that second one. Looked like he was under par in the first one a little bit. Mitch McDIARMID scored in both his rides, 4 points for him, and a paid one, as I paid. He's on paid 5. And Killeen, an excellent win in his second ride after being in a scoring position in his first one, but just not being able to make that stick. But you're only as good as your last race, and his last race was fantastic. Great win for him, 3 points on the board. So looking good at the moment for the home side, 24 points tabled. And for the away side, well, Stevie Worrall, he thought he had that. He thought he had that wrapped up at second place in his second ride, but Cam Heeps got the better of him. So 3 points for Steve so far from his 2 races. Declan Kennedy has failed to score. Like I said at the top of the show, that number 2 race jacket away from home is so difficult. And as that is proving so far for Declan. His brother Zaine picked up 2 points in his first ride, but then failed to score in his second one, so he's on 2 points from his 2 outings. An excellent win for Connor Mountain in his second ride for 3rd place in his first one. It was a paid one. There was a paid, yeah, he got paid a point in that one as well, so he's on paid 5 from his 2 rides. Jake Allen, excellent win, winning a second, 5 points from his 2. He's doing exactly what you would want from your number 5. Luke Harrison down at reserves looked quick again. He excellent second place in his first ride, where he got the better of Luke Killeen, him and Simon Lambert to pack him for a 3-3, but then failed to score in his second ride. And a couple of 3rd places for Simon Lambert, who, you know, I love Simon Lambert. He's one of my, I get on so well with him. He's a great guy. He's just struggling to get the points that his efforts are deserving at the minute. So he's on paid 4, 2 paid 4, but he would want more from that. I know that, and he'll be looking to put that right as the meeting goes on. So I would say at this moment it's relatively easy for the 2 team managers, because everyone's chipping in, apart from Declan Kennedy for the home side. But Declan will find himself in Heat 8, where he'll be up against Danyon HUME, Luke Killeen, and with Simon Lambert if we run to programme in Heat 8. Obviously protected heat, so no tacticals can be made in that one, but there can be a reserve switch if the managers choose. So we shall see. So far so good for the home side, and not a disaster at all for the away side. And like we said, down at Wimborne Road, I said up at Wimborne Road, definitely not up, down at Wimborne Road, 23-19. 4-point advantage on aggregate there between Paul and Plymouth. Nikolai Klimt won his second ride. Ben Barker's got 2 from 2. Nobody on the home side is going to walk away with a maximum there down at Paul. Ben Barker, the only one on the maximum. So Ben's enjoying his evening down in Wimborne Road. So we've still got the tractor out here. The Bowser has done a bit of work. That's going to pull in. I imagine we will see the tractor pull in. Schroeck's just been interviewed there, and a few words for the crowd. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't as a team manager sometimes. He's made a change for the Spires, bringing in Craig Cook for Francis Gusts. He felt that was the best thing for the team and the best thing for Francis. Didn't want to see Craig go somewhere else. But it's brilliant that we're able to give Francis some track time. As you can just see that man just coming in screen now, hobbling along. That's Dan. He's the one that's having to just sit out a few weeks of the season after that nasty spill the other day. We wish him well. Good to see him back on the bike again soon. And what it does do is give Francis the opportunity to get back on the bike. So points on the board today. If Scunthorpe can turn this around and pick some points, they could potentially see themselves go joint top of the league with Paul and Glasgow. And points on the board for Oxford, we'll just see them move up a couple of places now that the championship fixtures will start coming thick and fast. Friday sees KO Cup fixture actually, Edinburgh against Glasgow. But it also sees Red Car against Oxford, which is the one I said was going to be on BSN. You can tune in and see how Oxford get on up there at Red Car. And the second leg on Saturday of the KO Cup between Glasgow and Edinburgh. There's also the Czech Grand Prix on Saturday as well. And Leicester, they've got a British Youth Championship on Saturday, so if you are in need of a bit of speedway on Saturday, and you particularly want to stay home and watch the Grand Prix, you can head up to Leicester where they've got a British Youth Championship, and they will also have the British Women's Open Championship that day as well. So that'll be a good occasion up at Leicester. And then next week the fixtures start coming thick and fast across all 3 divisions. So riders just making their way out, as you can see on screen now. So Declan Kennedy there, white helmet colour, he's going to be looking to get some points on the board. You can see Luke Killeen there in blue. Senna Summers pushing him off. Senna picked up his first maximum for the National League Chargers on Sunday. Rode superbly well. He's on the spanners for Luke Killeen. And we are going to see, in the red helmet colour, Danyon HUME. So it's going to be Danyon and Luke Killeen for the home side. They're going to run to programme. We will see Luke Killeen off the inside in blue for Oxford. Off of gate 2 in yellow will be Simon Lambert for Scunthorpe. 2 points played, 4 for him so far. Off gate 3 in red will be Danyon HUME, couple of points for him so far as well. And off of the outside in white will be Declan Kennedy, who's going to be looking to get some points on the board in this one. Abingdon Beds, they're our sponsors of heat number 8. 2 minutes are well and truly on. The riders have got about a minute to get that rut ready. 2 or 3 ruts appearing in each starting bay where I look down here at the moment. But pretty even, pretty consistent as they always are here. And he didn't rip them up today like we said at the top of the show. And that at the moment is proving its worth to all the riders, because every gate's given us something. So we've had 2 heat winners on the trot for the away side. Simon Lambert or Declan Kennedy continue that. And again, this is a race where any one of these 4 can pop out and win this one. Luke Killeen and Danyon HUME for the home side. More than capable, as are Declan Kennedy and Super Simon Lambert for the away side. So, into position they come. Referee will get that green light on. Start marshal will leave them. The boys are happy, they're ready to go. Heat number 8, 6-point lead at the minute. That's a great gate from Danyon HUME off for 3. Awesome gate. Luke Killeen at the moment is with him, but he's being attacked inside and outside by the Scorpions. That's going to get tight down the back straight, and Luke has to come off the gas. But Danyon HUME made a worldie of a gate. He's got himself out front, but I tell you what, he has Scorpions all over the back of him. Declan Kennedy white on the inside. Simon Lambert, he's moving wider on the outside. Luke Killeen just had his run shut off, but he's gone in really quick into turn 3 there, Luke. And he's going to get a brilliant run around, and that's brought him right back into this heat. Danyon HUME out front, Scorpions in 2nd and 3rd. But keep an eye on Luke Killeen, he's riding a really good line. A bit Cameron Heeps-esque from the previous heat. Keep an eye. Danyon HUME's out wide, he's using that grip. 1 lap to go. Luke Killeen's putting everything into this to try and get up and challenge Declan Kennedy for that 3rd place. He's got 2 bends to do it. Danyon HUME's going to take the win. Luke Killeen, maybe just changed his mind a little bit there. Danyon HUME with the win, Simon Lambert 2nd, Declan Kennedy 3rd, Luke Killeen in 4th, was really pushing. I just thought he was going to be able to get up there and challenge the Scorpions, but fair play to them too in 2nd and 3rd, because they didn't really give him much room, much chance to get up into those scoring positions. And we have another 3-3. 27-1 as we tick past heat number 8. Good win for Danyon HUME, that'll please him. Tough one for Luke Killeen, just had his run stopped as he was going down the back straight, but it was a win for Danyon HUME. It was 2nd for Declan Kennedy, 2nd for Simon Lambert, 3rd for Declan Kennedy, and Luke Killeen at the back. 3-3, 27-21, still that 6-point gap, which isn't too bad for the away side. They're still in touching distance. Declan Kennedy gets some points on the board. But what it does do is it keeps it close. He's not messing around on this one. The riders are out already for heat number 9. Danyon HUME made a great gate in that last one. Made the gate, got himself out front, disappeared, and the battle then was in behind him to see what Luke Killeen could do up against the two Scorpions boys. But let's move on to heat number 9. We're going to see Francis Gusts, winner last time out. He's going to be in blue off the inside for Oxford. Off gate 2 will be Jake Allen, winner last time out, white helmet colour. Gate 3 will be Cameron Heeps, unbeaten so far, red helmet colour, and Luke Harrison, who's going to be in the yellow helmet colour off of gate number 4. SD Timo Car Sales, they're our sponsors of heat number 9. And in this one, it's a tough one. We've got 5 points. Jake Allen, that's what he's on. We've got 5 points. Paid 6. Cameron Heeps, he's unbeaten so far. And Francis Gusts, the winner last time out. Luke Harrison, he picked up a couple of points in that heat number 2. So this could go any way. 27-21. Danyon HUME popped out at gate number 3 in that last one. It's the second heat winner we've had from gate number 3. Tells you what's possible. So Cameron Heeps, Francis Gusts, Jake Allen, Luke Harrison, heat number 9. Green light comes on, takes fly up. Francis Gusts doesn't fly away. Cameron Heeps running solo again. Can he get that run down the back straight? He's have to cut back up the inside. Very clever from Jake Allen there to stop the run of Cameron Heeps. So Cam's got work to do here. Jake Allen out front, second place Cameron Heeps. Third and unchallenged is Luke Harrison, but he's putting it to Cam. And I tell you what, Cam's got problems as well. Oh, this is a gift for Scunthorpe, not for Jake Allen. He was out front. Can Cameron Heeps keep going? Can he keep that bike moving? Doesn't sound like there's much power coming from underneath me. Can he get into lap 3 without getting lapped? Can he keep that bike running to collect the single point? Take nothing away. Jake Allen, he was dictating the heat. He was out front. He's going to win this if he stays upright. Luke Harrison, he's going to pick up a second place. And it does look like Cam is going to be able to keep that engine running, keep that bike moving and not get lapped. He will pick up a single point, but it's a big 5-1 for the away side. That's what they needed. I don't know if they were expecting it from that heat, but they've certainly got it. Cam keeps going, limps over the line to pick up the single point. So engine failures and engine bite problems there really dampen that heat for the home side, but that won't bother the away team as they bring the score back into a 2-point gap. Jake Allen won both his last 2 heats. He's only dropped 1 point so far. He's looking good. But Francis Gusts hampered by bite problems. So was a win in white for Jake Allen. Second was Luke Harrison. Bit of a gift. He was looking close though to Cam. He looked like he was putting him under pressure. But Cam managed to keep that bike running to pick up that 3rd place to make it a 5-1 for the away side. That makes the progressive score 28 points to 26. Form of Jake Allen, that'll be pleasing the away side, that's for sure. 4 from 3 rides for Luke Harrison as well. Decent from reserve. Well, Francis Gusts is going to get that bike sorted. 2 out of his 3 races he hasn't completed. I didn't actually look back to Francis when he dropped it at the start there, so I didn't see. I took a good look and see what was going on, but I didn't. I was concentrating on the heat, and now we're moving on to heat number 10. The referee's keeping this one ticking over nicely. Just waiting for Danyon HUME. He'll be coming off the inside in blue for Oxford. Off of gate 2 in yellow is Connor Mountain, winner last time out. Gate 3 in red will be Sam Masters. And off of gate 4 in white will be Zaine Kennedy. County Plumbing Supplies, they sponsor heat number 10 here. And it's a heat number 10 and a meeting now that's on a knife edge, 28-26. Scunthorpe have really reeled it in. Didn't have to go down tactical territory, got a little bit of luck in that last one. But you've got to be in a position to take advantage of that. Luke Harrison was putting Cam under pressure anyway, so it might have developed into a heat anyway. But they'll gladly take it. First heat advantage. Both sides now have only got one, have picked up a 5-1 in this meeting, and a 4-2 in the opener. That 4-2 in the opener now, that is what is separating the sides as we move into heat number 10. So, as we said before, with Jake Allen, that will be pleasing. David Howe, Rob Godfrey in the away side. This is Danyon HUME's 4th programme ride. The number 2 finishes his meeting at heat 10. unless he gets a pick for 15. So this is Danyon's last ride. He's on 5, pace 6 so far. So we are Sam Masters, Danyon HUME, Zaine Kennedy, Connor Mountain, heat number 10, takes up and away we go into that first turn. Danyon's made a great gate again. Really big switch back there from Zaine Kennedy. But Sam Masters, that's really tight down the back straight. If Danyon just looks over his shoulder, he's going to see his teammate. Oh, Sam having to go really close to the fence. But Sam Masters does come out in second place, and he rides that curb very clever. That is what Zaine Kennedy was looking to do. Connor Mountain, he finds himself at the back in this one at the moment, but our Oxford going to hit back straight away with a 5-1. Danyon HUME, he's had a great night for the home side, guesting. He's out front for Jonas Knudsen. 3 points coming his way if he can keep going for Danyon HUME. Second place, Sam Masters. Third place at the moment is Zaine Kennedy. Putting Sam Masters under a bit of pressure there. Not a million miles away. Sam makes a mistake, he's going to be there ready to go, but how often do you see Sam Masters making mistakes? Not very often. He's really cutting that second turn off to get a straight, long run down that back straight, and he's made it work, and Oxford have made it work. Danyon HUME with the win. Sam Masters second. Zaine Kennedy third. Connor Mountain at the back. So that 5-1 advantage in heat number 9 disappears in heat number 10 for the away side. Big 5-1. Back to a 6-point gap. Here's how quickly things can change. Zaine Kennedy pushed all the way, but the home boys there, they'll come round on a lap of honour. Fair play to Danyon HUME, been an excellent guest. 2 race wins for him tonight. He did make it a bit tricky for Sam Masters coming around the first 2 turns. He's obviously riding his own race, and you know you want to put your back wheel where the grip is, and that's what Danyon did. And thankfully Sam Masters was able to get alongside him and join him and pick up a paid win. So it was a win for Danyon HUME, second for Sam Masters, third was Zaine Kennedy, fourth was Connor Mountain. Big 5-1 in heat 10. Swings that advantage now back again to the home side. 33-27 on aggregate. Sam Masters had to work for that to get himself up alongside Danyon HUME. He obviously didn't know he was there. He was riding his race, Danyon, and he'd made a great gate. Off the inside, rode a really sensible line. But that was a really clever cut back there from Zaine Kennedy. You know, on a different day that would have worked, but he managed to pull alongside Danyon. At the same time, Sam was blasting around the outside, and the two of them just got onto the end of that turn 4 together. But they came out on top. Held on to it. Zaine Kennedy pushed all the way but couldn't get up to challenge, and it is a 5-1, 33-27. We move into heat number 11. We're going to see Jordan Jenkins and Mitch McDiarmid. 2 points for Jordan so far, 4 points for Mitch. And for the away side, we're going to see big number 1 Steve Worrall, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see a tax sub in this one. Is he going to make his move now? Let's have a look. Who have we got coming out of the pits? My eyes aren't as sharp as they used to be. I think we might well see Jake Allen coming out in this one. Not a surprise really. David Howe plays the card early while he's got the opportunity. And it is going to be Steve Worrall off the inside in white. Gate 2 Jordan Jenkins in red. Gate 3 Jake Allen in yellow. And it's going to be Mitch McDiarmid in blue off of the outside. Smith Bletchley, they sponsor heat number 11 here at the Bet Goodwin Oxford Stadium for the Cheetahs. And this is a big heat. What can Steve Worrall and Jake Allen do? If you need 2 riders capable of getting you a 5-1, that's them too. But in Jordan Jenkins, we've seen a rider who's picked up a maximum here already this season. And Mitch McDiarmid, who's had a race win tonight and a paid 3rd place as well. So game on, race on. Heat 11, 6-point gap. Last 2 heats have given us a winner off of gate 2 and a winner off of gate 1, so the inside gate's just starting to come into play. Start Marshall drags him in, 30 seconds and counting on this one. So, big heat, Jordan Jenkins, Mitch McDiarmid, Steve Worrall, Jake Allen, takes go up and away we go on heat number 11. It's an even break into the first turn. Keep an eye on Mitch McDiarmid, all the way around the outside of everybody. That's a superb first 2 turns. Jordan Jenkins now looking to move up the inside of Jake Allen. Can he make that stick coming off of turn 4? I tell you what, that swung from an early looking 5-1. Whoa, contact there on Jordan Jenkins from Jake Allen. He's going to stay down. The referee has a decision to make. Big decision to make. Mitch McDIARMID, he's going to be gutted because that was a fantastic first 2 turns. Rode the line superbly, boldly, right round the outside of everybody to get himself out front. And they're just coming into turn 1 again. Jake Allen Jordan Jenkins wasn't on the line. He was just off the line, and Jake Allen thought he could see a gap, went for the gap. Was there contact? Potentially might try and get a replay. We might try and look at that again. There was a slight gap. We might try and see that one again if we can. We'll try and bring it up again for you. There was a slight gap coming in. Jordan had just moved off the line a little bit, and Jake saw the gap. We might try and get that on screen again for us. Give that a second or two. It was really close going in there. Mitch McDIARMID's going to be the one that's going to be disappointed because he was gone. He rode a superb first 2 turns. It's just whether there was enough contact there, whether there was contact and enough of it. That's the decision that the referee's going to have to make. Whatever it'll be, I'm sure it'll be the right one. Dave Watters was stood next to me then when I said that. I still don't know what he's going for. I'm keeping an eye on the lights. I'm keeping an eye on the lights. It's just whether he deems there enough contact there from Jake Allen going in, or did he just put Jordan under pressure? It was a really close call, to be honest. Let's wait and see. You'll hear the boos if it's a red light, that's for sure. It's a yellow. Jake Allen excluded. To the air horns. I imagine, you know, either way, David Howe might potentially pick up the phone and speak to the referee there, as Peter Schroeck might have done. But Jordan's up and he's walking back. That's the most important thing. So we will have a rerun of heat number 11. Thankfully Jordan's okay. But there goes that tack sub. Straight away for the away side. And Steve Worrall, he's going to have to make the gate to try and keep this 6-point gap. Just a 6-point gap. And again, it's a little bit like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't for Jake Allen there, because there was a gap. Jordan was just a little bit off the line. He wasn't on the curb, and Jake saw the opportunity. But because Jordan's in front, it's his line. It's his decision to go in where he wants to go in. The referee deemed there to be enough contact to just put Jordan down into the fence. He's up and walking back. He'll probably just have an extended 2 minutes here just to give him an opportunity to dust himself down, make sure the bike is all right. And then look to go again in the rerun where Stevie Worrall, he's got to get out of that start now. To be honest, going into the first turn there, it looked like it might materialise as a 5-1 for the away side. But then by the time he got down to the end of the back straight, that had all changed. And then going in there into turn 1 and 2 for the second time of asking, that is where Jake just tried to make a move on Jordan, unfairly, as the referee saw it. But Jordan's okay, that's the most important thing. Well, Mitch McDIARMID, he'll have to just use the show reel of the first lap, because that was an outstanding first 2 turns from him. Got himself over the top. Because again, from our vantage point here and what the camera shows you, we're obviously looking over towards that back straight. But if you're in the pits, that side, you see the close proximity of the riders coming off of turn 2. And, you know, the rider naturally that's got that inside line, he comes off the curb and moves across the track. Not like you would see, he was a good example in the Grand Prix. Yeah, Nicky Pedersen, he always, back wheel would come right across halfway down the straight, kiss the bottom of the air fence and propel him forward. You don't really do that at Oxford. You don't come that far over, but you do shut the door on the rider coming down the outside. And you've got to be so brave and so confident that you can get in that gap between that rider moving over to get yourself in front down the back straight. And like I say, if you're in the pits, you see that and you realise how much room these boys really don't have to make that work. So hats off to them. And again, I say this on all my streams. If you've ever got the opportunity at a track to go and stand in the centre green and watch a couple of races, you have to do it, because you get to get such an incredible perspective on the speed and the closeness of the racing. It almost doesn't do it justice being on the outside of the track or watching it on TV, because you just don't get that. When you get the opportunity to get in the centre green, it's phenomenal and it's well worth doing. So if you get the opportunity, do take it up. So won't be long until we're moving on with the rerun of heat number 11. Jordan Jenkins is fit to go again. Mitch McDiarmid will be looking to do what he did again, and Steve Worrall will be looking to make that start, get out front just to hold this 6-point gap. And you play your cards, and it doesn't work, unfortunately, for the away side. And that might be the catalyst for the Cheetahs to kick on here, but there's still plenty of racing to be done here. 5 big heats to go. We will have a 6th heat if we end up as a draw. We'll obviously have the super heat if the two sides are level. And again, if you're, this is obviously the first meeting of these two in the league, but there is an aggregate to play for when the two sides meet for that second time. So you can potentially get a super heat for the aggregate point as well. So the 2 minutes are on. Dave Watters gets that 2 minutes ticking down. Gives the opportunity for the boys to get round. He's going to want to do the same thing again. He checked out in that one. He was gone. Had a pound on him, not getting seen, let alone touched in that heat. So we will go again, and we are going to see Steve Worrall off the inside in white for Scunthorpe. Off gate 2 in red will be Jordan Jenkins. Nobody off of gate 3. Jake Allen excluded as the cause of the stoppage first time round. And Mitch McDiarmid, where he's got more of a clear run now going up into that first turn. He's going to be in blue off of gate number 4. Smith's the Bletchingley, they sponsor heat number 11 here. And it's a heat where Oxford could really do some damage, but they're up against the number 1 in Steve Worrall that's got the ability to beat anybody in this division. And they wouldn't put it past him. You know full well he's going to stalk anybody that gets out in front of him, that's for sure. Just a bit of guarding from Mitch McDiarmid on the outside, packing that rut in. Back into that rut to get the grip off that back wheel to propel himself out of that start. Start Marshall tries to bring him into line. So here we go then. V11 rerun, Jordan Jenkins, Mitch McDiarmid, Steve Worrall. 3 riders only. What can Steve Worrall do? Can the Cheetahs steal this heat away? Oh, Steve made a great gate off of 1. Absolutely superb. Now keep an eye, Jordan Jenkins up the inside. Whoa, Mitch McDiarmid stays upright. Thankfully, I thought he was going to lose it then. And he's straight back on the gas. Steve Worrall out front, Jordan Jenkins second. Mitch McDiarmid, thankfully, still on the machine. He had a big moment there coming off a 2 for the first time. And Jordan Jenkins just has a bit of a moment there as well, coming off of turn 2 down the back straight. But Steve Worrall, well, he made exactly the gate that Scunthorpe needed him to make. And he's gone, he's checked out. This win's in the bag, Jordan Jenkins in second. Mitch McDiarmid in third. This heat's potentially going to give me the least to talk about of all of our 11 heats so far, but it's a great one for the away side. This is damage limitation. This is the best they could have hoped for. It would have been so different if Jake Allen not been excluded in the first running of the heat, but in Steve Worrall, they've got a man who's made the gate. He's dominated the heat. He's taken the win. 3 points for Steve Worrall and Scunthorpe. Jordan Jenkins in second. Mitch McDiarmid in third. After a big moment coming down that back straight for the first time. But what it does do is it keeps that 6-point gap, and it keeps Scunthorpe in touching distance of the home side. Excellent stuff from Steve Worrall there. Made the gate, got himself out front, didn't look back. So Steve Worrall takes the win, takes the 3 points. Second place was Jordan Jenkins. Third place was Mitch McDiarmid after a big moment as he came off a turn 2. I honestly thought he was going to lose it at one point. Thankfully he didn't. I looked down, looked up, and he was back on full gas going into turn 3. He came home in third place. There was no Jake Allen, so it was a 3-3 scoreline. 36-30 as we make our way into the crucial last 4 heats of this one. Paramedics just heading off track as a track staff. That means it's cup of tea time for them. Quick interval, maybe 10-15 minutes tops, I hope. Or you guys have to listen to me for 10 or 15 minutes. And then we'll get to go again with the last few heats of this one. But that was a great heat. Mitch McDiarmid could have been so different for him. He was winning that first running of the heat before the incident. I saw Jake Allen excluded for bringing down Jordan Jenkins. And then second time of asking, as so often happens, massive gate from Steve Worrall. But it was that moment that you've probably just seen there on the replay of Mitch McDiarmid coming off turn 2 for the first time. Just seemed to lose the front end and then regain it. And then, you know, that's from him. Mortal would just have a moment. Not Mitch, he was straight back on the throttle. Going 100 mile an hour down into turn 3. So, that moment of controversy. Was there any contact? I didn't actually, I was trying to look over to see where I could see David Howe going in and talking to the referee. He's probably not going to change his mind. Referees don't change their mind, but there's a 50-50 one for me. I didn't know if there was enough contact or whether he just put Jordan under pressure. Jordan will say there was a bit of contact. Okay, so if I get the opportunity to watch this back later on tomorrow, I might have a different view on it. But as we are, we're into the interval. We're 36-30. These 3 heats have been one of those inside gates. See them both going in there. To play Jordan's not that far. I don't think he was that far off the line. Not as much as I thought he was. And Jake's just coming across. Jake came almost off the curb and across the track. That's probably what influenced the referee, is the movement from Jake coming off the curb into the middle of the track, which is where Jordan was riding at the time. But there didn't seem to be much protest from the pits. And thankfully for Scunthorpe, Steve Worrall jumped out the start, took the win in the replay. So we've just got a few minutes. We'll probably just quickly run through some gate stats for you in a moment. We'll have a look at what the gates are doing up to this point. And then we'll have a quick run through the scores again. We'll have a quick check of what's going on down at Wimborne Road. So yeah, inside and outside. That's where the majority of the gate wins have come from. A couple off the middle 2 runs of the gates as well, but wins from everywhere, points from everywhere. Really, really even spread. And to be honest, when I did the track walk earlier and I walked off over the start line, they looked even. Every gate looked exactly the same. Even gate 4 looked exactly the same. And tended to be a bit more grip on the outside of 4, and that's as it's proving. So you can win from anywhere. That makes the decision tricky if we get to heat 15 and it's a close one. That gives Peter Schroeck and Sam Masters and the boys a bit more to decide upon going into that last heat, because it's pretty even. But the last 3 heats have seen wins off of 1 and 2, 2 off of 1 and 1 off of gate 2. It was the outside heats before then. So it's a lottery. It's a gate lottery at the moment. So all of our social medias across the bottom of the screen there. Twitter, I still call it Twitter, I'm not calling it X. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Keep an eye on what the Cheetahs, the Spires and the Chargers are doing. And again, it's not just us. Every side is hot on socials this year. You keep up to tabs with what your club's doing and keep tabs on the sport across as a whole. We'll give them an opportunity to get themselves a drink. Let's run through the scores. We'll have a look top to bottom, starting with the home side. It's paid 8 so far for Sam Masters, just that 1 point dropped for him. An excellent guest booking for Danyon HUME. He's really chucked himself back in the shot window after losing a couple of team places in the top division. He's got 8 paid 9 from his rides. That's a really good return. Cameron Heeps, bit of bad luck in one of his heats, but he did manage to keep that bike going around to pick up a point. He's got 6+1 from his heat so far. Francis Gusts, well, if he's not winning the heat, he's not finishing the heat. 2 engine failures and 1 win from his 3 rides. Jordan Jenkins failed to score in his first one, but then picked up a couple of second places in his second and third ride. Mitch McDIARMID, 5 paid 7 from him. That's a great return from reserve, and a really solid race win for Luke Killeen in amongst his 3 rides, and a couple of last places. Where, to be fair, he was on the gas, he was on the pace, he was pushing. Just couldn't get in amongst the points to add to that race win, and 3 points for him. So they're scoring well down at reserve today. That will please Peter Schroeck and the Cheetahs faithful here. 8 points from their 6 rides, the 2 reserves combined. And again, when you're 6 points up, there's the difference. So reserves doing their job. And for Scunthorpe, well, they've started to pack in a few heat winners now. They had very few in the first 4 or 5 heats, but now they've really turned the screw. They've really turned the corner. And they've got 3 different riders that have picked up heat wins in the second half of this meeting. Steve Worrall, he won his last one, 6 points for him from his 3 rides. Declan Kennedy, he's got a point on the board, 1+1 for him from his 3 rides. He's found the going a little bit tough. as does his brother a little bit. Zaine Kennedy, he's got 3 points from his 3 rides. Only one where he's failed to score, the other 2 he did pick up points. Connor Mountain, he's got a race win in amongst his 4 paid 5. He'll be looking to build on that in his last ride and get some more points on the board. Jake Allen, he's doing really well. 2 wins and a second from his opening 3 rides, and then that exclusion in that tactical sub. So he's still got a programme ride to come, of course. So we'll see him again, and I dare say we'll see him a couple of times before the meeting is out. Luke Harrison, he's got 4 paid 5, and Simon Lambert 4 paid 2 down at reserve. So 8 points from their reserves as well. So the reserves are even, Stephen. It's the middle of the sides, and potentially Danyon HUME up against Declan Kennedy. They're the two standout differences in the sides, but both sets of reserves scoring quite well. Again, everybody would rather have more points on the board than they've got, unless you're unbeaten. But the reserves doing their job, and Simon Lambert picking up some handy points down there at reserve for the away side. So we are 36-30. We've got 12 through to 15 to go. Oxford will be looking to try and extend that lead for when they go up to Scunthorpe for the away leg. It was only a 6-point win, I think it was. Yeah, it was 48-42 in the knockout cup, so it was a 6-point gap. So Oxford did run them close. So Scunthorpe are going to want to keep this as close as possible, in the hope of trying to get the aggregate when the 2 sides meet in the second league fixture. But yeah, those aggregate points as the season ticks by, they start to add up. And if you've managed to get those bonus points, those aggregate bonus points across the board, they will potentially be the difference between getting into those playoffs and not. So, tractor's made his way off. Some sponsors making their way out to the centre green. They're going to get that buzz, that thrill of watching a race from the centre of the track here. Let's have a quick update and check down at Wimborne Road. Oh, they turned the screw a little bit now, Paul. 37-23. So they're now 6 points up on aggregate. And as you go into the back end of the meeting, especially against Paul down there at Wimborne Road, when you know that Richard Lawson, Anders Rowe, Louis Kerr, Zach Cook, they're all coming out again. That's tough going now for Plymouth. They've done well to really put that meeting to them. Ben Barker with 7 from his 3 rides, 5 from Nikolai Klint's 2 rides. Lasse Fredriksson just the 1. Alfred Botel failing to score. Mitchell Clough 4 from his 4 rides. So it looks like they are just turning the screw. And I will just give a shout out to Darryl Richins, obviously a National League rider here for the Chargers. He's picked up a win, a second and a third. So he's on 6 paid 7 from his 3 rides there. Fair play to Darryl Richins. Friend of mine, good to see him back in the sport, and good to see him riding well and scoring some points there. Will those bike gremlins come back to bite Oxford at 5-1? Earlier on when Cameron Heeps limped around for that 3rd place. Will that make a difference? Yeah, Scunthorpe last season, they hit 40+ points 6 times on the road, which is not bad effort. So they were able to score some points away from home, whereas Oxford hit 50+ 9 times across all competitions at home. So they had the ability to score big. And they only lost 1 meeting at home last year, and that was a decisive one. So Dave Watters, he will get this meeting moving. We'll get these last 4 heats up and running. See where this meeting takes us. We're going to see Cam Heeps back out in the next one. We'll see Luke Killeen come out for his 4th ride as well. So Peter Schroeck just holding back on possibly switching Luke for Mitch McDIARMID. We are going to see Zaine Kennedy and Luke Harrison for the away side. It's going to be 2 and 4. Oxford 1 and 3 for Scunthorpe in this one. So the riders pull into position. It's heat 12 here. Colin Perkins Property Maintenance. They sponsor heat number 12, which will see Luke Harrison. He'll be for the inside in the yellow helmet colour. Almost look white from my vantage point up here, but it's definitely yellow. Off gate 2 will be Cameron Heeps. He's going to be in the red helmet colour. Gate 3, Zaine Kennedy, white helmet colour. and Luke Killeen blew off of gate number 4. Cam, bit unfortunate in his last one. He was unbeaten up till that point. Still managed to pick up that 1 point. And Zaine Kennedy, 3 points from his 3 rides. Luke Harrison, 4 points from his 3 rides. So, pretty even heat this one. We'd like to think from a home perspective that Cam Heeps can make that gate. Gate winners off of 1 and 2 in the last 3 heats. So that's the place to be at this moment in time. Luke Killeen's got really wide. He's got his butt. He's going to have his butt wheel right on that fence by the look of it. He's working on a rut which is really close to the fence. Will he be able to make that work round the first 2 turns? Start marshal. He brings them in. We don't have a 2 minutes on this one again. Dave Watter's not bothering with that. The boys are ready, keen to go. Cameron Heeps, Luke Killeen, Zaine Kennedy, Luke Harrison. Heat number 12, 6-point lead. Who's going to come out on top in this one? Green light comes on. Takes up. Cam's made a great gate and got over the top of Luke Harrison. But Zaine Kennedy's made a great gate as well. Will he get the run down the back straight, or will Cam shut the door? No. Whoa! Big contact. Oh my God. That's massive. Huge moment for Cameron Heeps. Horrible, horrible incident. He went in there at 100 miles an hour. Again, pure racing incident, but Cam was just a passenger off the back of that bike. Couldn't get off of it, nothing he could do. Horrible crash, that one. Wow. Just a racing incident. Zaine Kennedy, he got the run down the back straight. He had the speed. And you can't see Zaine. He's just off of our camera by the pits gate. He's actually down on his haunches. He's down on his knees as well. So he has picked up a bit of an impact from that. But wow, that was a huge moment. Horrible, horrible crash. All our thoughts at the minute with Cam, because he went in there really fast. Almost ended up going over the top of the airbag there. The paramedics are with him. Obviously, we're going to have a natural delay here for a bit. And just pray that Cam's okay. Riders from both teams out there with Cam. I can see a couple of Scunthorpe riders walking over. So all our thoughts at the moment are with Cam. That was a huge incident. Hated every set from the moment Zaine Kennedy was coming down, and Zaine had every right to go for that line. So we obviously won't show the replay. Excuse my silence there for a moment. We won't see a replay until we know that Cam's okay. That's the most important thing. So I'm just going to be silent for a moment. So yeah, we're just obviously keeping focus on Cam. All our thoughts with Cam at the moment. We'll keep just the Cam focused on the pits there. The paramedics are still with him. Really big moment. Zaine was coming down the outside, and it's whether Zaine picked up Cam's handlebars essentially before he got into the lead. It's a real tough one for the ref. That's a 50-50 call. But a horrible, horrible incident. I hate that. Hate that for any rider, let alone somebody you know. So obviously there's just a bit of a silence over the track at the moment. It's a really big moment. Once Zaine had come over the top, it just straightened Cam up. You can see the bike just being, well, manhandled there. I don't think you should be doing that, Dan Gilks. You should be sat down relaxing. Can't help himself. But he is helping his teammates bite back into the pits there. So yeah, it's pretty silent and quiet over the track here at the moment, as you'd expect, just until we know that Cam's okay. Paramedics are still with him. As are a couple of Scunthorpe riders. They'll probably have to do a bit of work on the bag for the moment. I can see Peter Schroeck walking back towards the pits, which I always think is a relatively good sign. If I see anybody walking away from the incident, I hope that's a good omen. But yeah, the referee's got a decision to make there, because it's not as cut and dry as some might think. Zaine had that. That's exactly what I was saying earlier on. You know, that gap is there down the back straight when the rider's coming across. That's quite incredible. I think Cam is up on his feet. That's amazing. Whew. Yeah, thank goodness for that. I don't think I swore in amongst all of that. If I did, I apologise now. But that is fantastic to see. Cam walking back, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we'll just see if we can't. That's incredible that Cam Heeps is walking back from that incident. Absolutely unbelievable. Hopefully he is, and he's all right. We'll just keep the camera on the pits just for the moment. Cam will just unbelievably walk through shot in a minute. It's just amazing. Unbelievable. Took my breath away, that. So I'm just trying to keep an eye. Yeah, he's excluded Zaine Kennedy for that one. Which again, I think he took the handlebar of Cam before he got into the lead. So it's not his race to dictate. I think it's unfortunate, you know, it's a 50-50. I think the referee was you know, couldn't really win by that one, but I think it was just Zaine taking the handlebar there. As he came down the back straight, you can see in the replay, Zaine's just got the run down that back straight. Cam doesn't really deviate from his line. Just goes in there at 1,000 miles an hour off the back of that bike. That's just incredible. Zaine did take, yeah, he was on his haunches outside the pit gate for a little while, so it obviously had an impact on him as well. Thankfully he's okay. But just blows my mind that the boys can walk back after an incident like that. So thankfully Cam is okay. Zaine will be excluded from the rerun of that one. Kind of puts pay to his evening. That's his fourth programme ride. I don't envisage David Howe will deviate much from Steve Worrall and Jake Allen in 15, so it's a real 50-50. We've seen that a few times recently, that type of incident, you know, where the contact is there's an argument, you know, can you essentially exclude 2 riders or keep 4 riders in if the decision, you can't split the riders. But either way, Zaine Kennedy has been excluded from 12. Cameron Heeps unbelievably walked back to the pits, which I am so delighted about. It's whether he's fit to carry on. I don't think his bike is anywhere near fit to carry on, so he'll have to use a second bike if he will continue. And if he can't, then an injured rider replacement will be granted to the home side, and they'll be able to fill his place. Whew. Unbelievable. So yeah, just your patience. Appreciate that. Just while we just sort the airbag out and figure out what's going to happen with Cameron Heeps in the rerun of this one. We will see Luke Killeen, we will see Luke Harrison. They'll both be back in. Just the one rider for the away side. And a bit like in the last running where Jake Allen was excluded for bringing Jordan Jenkins off, it's going to be a one rider Luke Harrison only thing in this next one. So whether or not he can jump out the start like Steve Worrall did and get the win. So we will just have a short pause here, just while they do what they need to do to the fence. Whether they're going to give Cam time to sort himself out or not remains to be seen. I'm just looking over. I think I can see him. Just he's just off of camera to the left, but I think he's just taken the top half of his suit off and sat down. So it might tell its own story. So we are still 36:30. Seems like it's taken forever. To get through the last couple of heats. Thankfully, Jordan was okay after that slide off, really, and can walk back after that one. Just scanning across to Wimborne Road. They've got a couple of heats to go there, and yeah, just in the last couple of heats, they've turned the screw. They've turned the screw on Plymouth, and it looks like they're going to go through now. Paul, they're 47.31 up over Plymouth, 88.80 on aggregate. So 2.51s needed in the last couple of heats for Plymouth to take that to an aggregate super heat. You never know. Ben Barker's on good form, Nikolai Clint's on good form. But it does look like Paul White will progress. Winners of everything last year, of course. We're looking to do the same thing again. Oxford were the bridesmaids last year. Saka did everything behind Paul. So they'll be looking to get some silverware this year. So a bruising encounter tonight. Jordan Jenkins, he may be out for the remainder of this meeting as well. Took a bit more of a hit than I anticipated. He might well have withdrawn. Probably means that Mitch McDiarmid's going to have a busy last few heats. So, thank you for sticking with us. Just waiting to see what's going to happen here. I don't envisage we're going to see Cam Heeps again. As much as these boys are made of stern stuff, that'll take something pretty special to see him come back out after that one. Which means we will see a rider replacement for him in red. If what I'm hearing is right, Jordan Jenkins, he won't be reappearing in 13, so we will see a rider in there for him as well. And Mitch McDiarmid, he's really shone tonight for me. I paid 7. So one nice thing they do in the programme here at Oxford every week is they have a memory match, and they go back through the archives and find where these two teams have raced each other previously. And they've gone back to a Scunthorpe versus Oxford from 1980, when Dave Perks top scored in a 40-37 away win for the Cheetahs. Had riders in the team: Mick Hanley, Alan Williams, Colin Ackroyd, John Hack, Mickey Fletcher. And for the Stags, Big Arthur Browning. He was 11+1. Mike Beaumont, Phil White, certain Rob Woffington, 9 points from 5 rides. Managed by Ken McKinley. And they do one of those in the meeting program every week. Some terrific photographs, all from the John Somerville collection. And this program is probably getting really well read tonight because we've had a couple of long delays. So just an extended delay. I imagine that the delay now, the light's gone off, the exclusion light's gone off, so the referee's resetting the system. Just pushing across screen there, you can see a toolbox being pushed away. That's either Jordan Jenkins or Cam Heeps, one of the two. I think that was Jordan Jenkins' mechanic, not 100%. Seen his pit bay being cleared. We also do an article in the programme on connections, so somebody that's represented both teams, Mick Handley. He rode here in Oxford in late 70s, 77, 76, 77. Just a bit of an announcement to the crowd. I can't quite make it out, but I imagine saying no more Cam, no more Jordan. Bruising night for the home side. Well, obviously the knock-on effect there is Jordan and Ipswich as well. So Peter Schroeck just been interviewed for the crowd. So plenty of streams on up and down the country if you can't get to tracks. BSN, I've got plenty of meetings coming up. You're visiting Glasgow, Birmingham, Leicester, Berwick. After Redcar on Friday against the Cheetahs. Visiting there to Paul as well. And then back here on the 12th. And BSM will be here. So Oxford TV. Thursday the 12th, in Kings Lynn visit. That'll be streamed live on BSN. So we're just extended delay, as you can imagine, just while the fence is put right. I think they're still working on the airbag on turn 3 where Cam went in. I'll just take this opportunity to wish Martin Hunter, one of the men behind British Speedway Network, it's his birthday today. I don't know what he's doing this evening. I'm sure he's busy. I'm sure he's having fun. Happy birthday, Martin. Thanks for keeping me on at BSN. Many happy returns. That was Greg Blair. That was Greg Blair's prompt. Greg Blair, of course, who walked all that way for the Spear Riders Benevolent Fund. Did a sterling job. Okay, we seem to have a gathering of people walking away from turn 3. I can see Mitch McDiarmid on screen, as you can there, with a red helmet on. That means Mitch is going to be our man in red for Cam Heeps in this one. Well, I'm surmising he might just be getting ready for Heat 13, but I anticipate we'll see him out if we can. So it will be the reserve pairing for the home side. So we've almost, Heat 12's almost morphed into a reserves race. 3 out of the 4 in this one. Luke Harrison will be the sole Scorpion in this one. will be up against Mitch McDiarmid. And Luke Killeen. There's Francis Gusts on track, just helping Mitch get ready for this race. Luke Harrison just coming out on track. You've got to take your hat off to Luke Harrison. That Scunthorpe 48-42 win in the KO Cup over Oxford recently. He scored 16, paid 19 from his full quarter of 7 rides. So it was the first time he was in the main body. He was riding at 2. He dropped down into the reserves. And yeah, plundered 19 points, which is fantastic from him. And he's looked good tonight. He's looked fast. And he's going to have to be fast in this one if they're going to keep that 6-point gap. Mitch McDiarmid, Luke Killeen, they'll be looking to get the better of him. Luke Harrison in this one. As we go again for heat number 12. The riders at tapes, minute and a half to go. Extended delay was for the airbag. So we are going to see off the inside in the yellow helmet colour will be Luke Harrison. Mitch McDiarmid, he comes in, injured rider replacement for Cam Heeps. He'll be in the red helmet colour off of gate number 2. Nobody off gate number 3. That should have been Zaine KENNEDY, but he's been excluded as a cause of the stoppage first time out. And Luke Killeen, again, with a bit more of a free run to that first turn. He's going to be off gate 4 in the blue helmet colour. Colin Perkins Property Maintenance, they sponsor heat number 12 here for the Cheetahs. And again, worst case scenario here for the away side is a 3-3. Can Luke Harrison get off that gate 1? He's provided the last 2 race winners. Steve Worrall and Danyon HUME have both jumped off of 1 in gates 10 and 11 to win the heat. Can he do the same? Just hold that 6-point gap. Because when you think they've got Steve Worrall and Jake Allen to come in 13, and then potentially in 15 again, they've got a couple of big hitters. So Luke Killeen and Mitch McDiarmid, they're going to want to get the better of Luke here. So here we go, heat 12. Mitch McDiarmid, Luke Killeen, Luke Harrison, takes up, and away we go on the rerun of 12. And Luke Harrison, he's made a great gate. Mitch McDiarmid just moves across Luke Killeen's line a little bit, but we've got a race on. Luke Harrison out front, Mitch McDiarmid looks to put the move on early. Oh, Luke Harrison stays upright. Will he fight back round the outside? Fair play to these 2 out front, handlebar to handlebar, but Mitch McDiarmid moves across. Luke Harrison back up the inside. No, Mitch McDiarmid just comes back across the front of Luke Harrison. And what that's done is that's allowed Luke Killeen just to reel in Luke Harrison a little bit. Mitch McDiarmid out front, great battle from those 2. Second place, Luke Harrison. Really close battle there coming off of turn 2 again. Luke Killeen just drops back a little bit, but seems to gain ground coming into turn 3, into 4. Really reels Luke Harrison in. Just can't keep it. He's gone a bit wider again this time, Luke Killeen. He's out in that deep stuff. He's going to get a big long back straight. Potentially just a little bit too far away, but he's going to go in big and try it. Mitch McDiarmid's going to get the win. Second place is going to be Luke Harrison. Third place, try as he might, Luke Killeen. Just couldn't get up. But Mitch McDiarmid, star of that one. Cracking race from all 3 of them. All pretty close, all putting it to each other. But what it does do is it just extends that lead for the home side. Gets them an 8-point gap going into the last 3 heats. But you take your hat off to Luke Harrison. He did not give up. He pushed all the way. Potentially thought he might come off at one point. But Mitch McDiarmid, he takes the applause. He takes the win. Second heat win of him for the night. And it's another point added to Luke Killeen's return. So yes, Mitch McDiarmid with a win, 3 points for him. Second place, Luke Harrison for Scunthorpe. Third place was Luke Killeen for the home side. No Zaine KENNEDY excluded. So 4-2, only the second 4-2 of the evening for the home side. That makes the progressive score 40 points to 32. But terrific battle out front. I thought just coming into 4 there, Mitch McDiarmid had played his card really early and pushed really hard going into those 3rd and 4th turn for the first time. And I didn't know whether we were going to see somebody come down and come off. A really, really tough battle, close battle. Luke Harrison seemed to just get a lead coming down that back straight, but left the door open. Mitch McDiarmid looked to put it in there and push hard. Oh, I'm sure there was a little bit of contact there. Thankfully, Luke Harrison didn't come down. And then again, I thought Luke might get that drive down the home straight and get back over the top of him. But Mitch McDiarmid had the speed, rode the line. Good battle from them two up front. Great race. Luke Killeen was always within touching distance of Luke Harrison. But was able to play the cards he wanted because he obviously knew he wasn't getting challenged for that third place. But yeah, just couldn't get up to challenge. So it was a 4-2. That makes it 40-32. As we move into heat 13, and I imagine we're just going to see a bit of a delay on this one because we've got no Jordan Jenkins. There's Sam Masters and Steve Worrall on track. Jake Allen joining now. Mitch McDiarmid switched a red to a blue. And I think we will see Mitch McDiarmid out again in this one. And to be honest, why not? Because he is quick, he's riding well. But what it does do is in the last 4 heats, we've had 2 winners off of 1 and 2 winners off of 2. And obviously when you get to heat 15, you can't pick gates 1 and 2. So he's going to have to play it very carefully, Peter Schroeck. They have got an 8-point gap now, so they've just started to inch away a tiny bit. Here comes Mitch. I was going to say Luke Killeen stood there. There's Luke Killeen, number 7. I thought he was coming out with his... He is putting his helmet on. What's going on here then, fellas? Luke Killeen is stood on track with his blue helmet on. Sam Masters already round to tapes. We're going to see him come off of gate number 1. Steve Worrall's joining him. He's going to go for gate 2. So it's whether Luke Killeen's going to come out here or Luke Killeen's going to be out in 14 for Mitch McDiarmid. That's potentially the switch that it's going to be. I still don't know. If you know more than me. I'm still looking over towards the pits. There we can see a great shot at the start line. Sam Masters, Steve Worrall, Jake Allen, they're ready to go. I think it's going to be Luke Killeen. Luke Killeen's going to come out in this one, which will see Mitch McDiarmid come out in the next one. So Luke Killeen, he's got 20, he's got loads of time, 30 seconds. Just mind that rope there when you come over. Yeah, there's Luke Killeen. So Luke Killeen, blue helmet colour. Finds himself in heat 13. Sam Masters, Luke Killeen, Steve Worrall, Jake Allen, that's our lineup. Big heat 13. What can the Scunthorpe Scorpions do in this one? Can Sam Masters make the jump? Can Luke Killeen get in amongst it? Tapes go up and away we go. And Luke Killeen's made a better gate than Jake Allen off of 4. Really tight going into that first turn. Luke Killeen, Sam Masters up the inside. Luke Killeen looking to put a move up the inside of Steve Worrall. Going into turn 3, but it's Sam Masters out front. Whoa, Jake Allen tough there on Luke Killeen. Luke just left the door open. That gave Jake Allen the invite to move him over and put himself into 3rd place. But again, Luke throwing it around with the big boys. That's what we want to see. Sam Masters is out front. Luke Killeen still trying, you know. He's pushing really hard on Jake Allen, 3rd and 4th. Sam Masters is out front. Stevie Worrall's in 2nd. The battle, I think, is going to develop for Jake Allen and Luke Killeen, because Luke Killeen is on the back wheel, on the exhaust pipe of Jake Allen in 3rd and 4th place. Sam Masters with a lap to go. He's got this one sewn up. Steve Worrall in 2nd is looking unchallenged. It's whether Luke Killeen can do anything. Maybe not. Maybe it's a little bit too much to do. But he's going to give it one big blast. Round turns 3 and 4. Keep an eye on Luke Killeen. Oh, just can't get that run off of 4. Really unlucky. Fair play to Jake Allen for keeping him at bay. But the important piece of information was that Sam Masters did take the win from Steve Worrall, from Jake Allen, from an unlucky Luke Killeen. 3-3, 43-35. 2 5-1s needed from the away side if they're going to get a draw out of this one and take it to a super heat. Sam Masters rightly comes around and takes the applause. But it was a win in red for Sam Masters. 2nd in white was Steve Worrall. 3rd in yellow was Jake Allen. And it was Luke Killeen in 4th place. Tries he might, he just couldn't get up to challenge. I thought he was going to go for that one big long blast around the outside on that last turn, but just couldn't make that work. So they retain an 8-point lead going into the last 2 races. So if they want to get anything out of it, it's going to have to be 2 5-1s for the away side. Sam Masters really dominated the heat from the tapes, but it was Luke Killeen made a great jump, got out in front, didn't he, of Jake Allen, and made Jake work to get it back in front of him. He had 3rd place for a little while there, Luke Killeen, before Jake. Luke almost didn't leave the door open for him, just rode mid-track a little bit. You've either got to be inside on the line or outside on the grip on turn 4. If you just find yourself in the middle of that track, that's when you're open to an attack from the inside and the outside, and that's what Jake Allen did. You'd expect a rider of Jake's quality to spot that and utilise that, and Luke Killeen will learn as he goes. You know, you can't make those type of mistakes at championship level, National League level. Last season a little bit easier, but in championship riders will take advantage. So as we come round for Heat 14, I was meant to say Jamie Lee Sound Enterprises, they were the sponsors of Heat 13. I missed out on that bit, sorry. Jamie Lee's the man on the decks, DJing from the centre green as he always does. Does a fantastic job playing the latest music, keeping everybody on their toes. He was the sponsor of Heat 13, Jamie, well done, thank you. So here we are, Heat 14. It's a big Heat 14 as well, you know. Off the inside in white will be Connor Mountain for Scunthorpe. Off of gate 2 in blue, the informed Mitch McDiarmid. 2 race wins for him so far tonight. Simon Lambert, yellow helmet colour. He's going to be off of gate 3 in the yellow helmet colour. And off of the outside is Francis Gusts. 1 win from his 3 rides, but 2 engine failures to boot. He will be in red off of gate number 4. AW Mobs Building Supplies, they sponsor Heat 14. And it's a Heat 14 where the away side do have to get a 5-1 if they want to try and get the draw out of this meeting. Potentially take it to a super heat. Anything else for the home side, we'll see victory on the night. But there is always that aggregate point that you want to keep it close to the away side. And Oxford will want to extend it so that they go up to Eddie Race with a bit of a cushion. Waiting to Connor Mountain to get on his bike. Start Marshall gives him the, I was going to say gives him the clap, but that wouldn't be right, would it? Encourages him to get into position as he does Francis Gusts on the outside. So we've got Connor Mountain off the inside, Mitch McDiarmid off gate 2, Simon Lambert off of gate 3, and Francis Gusts off of gate number 4. Start Marshall calls him in, referee wants to get that green light on, he wants to get Heat 14 moving. Here we go. Takes up on 14, Simon Lambert's made a good one, as has Connor Mountain. Keep an eye on Mitch McDiarmid, he'll ride the curb, he'll ride the line, that's fantastic. He'll move Connor Mountain over. That will get in the way of Simon Lambert. Will that give Francis Gusts the opportunity to come up the inside? No, he just can't make that work. But all 4 riders on top of each other as we finish lap 1 into 2. Mitch McDiarmid out front, Connor Mountain second, Simon Lambert third. Keep an eye on Francis Gusts in red. He's got the speed, can he find the line? Simon Lambert will put up a roadblock. He won't let him past easily, but Francis Gusts looks really fast. He's moving inside, moving outside. He's got to get his wheel on that grip out wide and get a real run around the outside if he's going to make that work. Can't really switch mid-track on that because you won't make that work. But let's talk about the man out front, Mitch McDiarmid. He's turning the screw. He's going to get this race win. It will get Oxford over the line. Francis Gusts is still trying. To be fair to Connor Mountain in second, he's been pushing all the way, but Mitch McDiarmid's going to hold on for the win. Simon Lambert's going to hold on for third. Connor Mountain takes second. Francis Gusts tries he might, can't get another point on the board. But entertaining race, that one. But Mitch McDiarmid, 3rd race win of the evening for him. But close, entertaining race. But what it does do is it takes Oxford on to 46 points. That gives them the win on the night. Back wheel celebration from Mitch. He's enjoyed his evening, that's for sure. So it was a win in blue for Mitch McDiarmid. 2nd place in white was Connor Mountain. Simon Lambert managed to hold off Francis Gusts, and again, try as he might, he just couldn't get alongside and get in a position to challenge for that third place, and Francis Gusts was at the back, so it was a 3-3 score line. That takes it to the magic 46 points for the win for the home side. It takes the away side to 38, and with one race to go, it's an 8-point advantage with a view to that second leg. But Mitch McDiarmid, 3 wins for him tonight, 2 paid third places. What's the chances of seeing him in 15? It was a great start from the Scunthorpe boys, to be honest. They both made the gate, but Mitch McDiarmid just rode an exceptional inside line, didn't he, coming off that curb, just to move up the inside. And what he did is he moved Connor Mountain over into the line of Simon Lambert, who's looking to get that run big going down into turn 3. That bolted his run, and that almost ended Simon's race in terms of a challenge out front. And then Mitch McDiarmid just stamped his authority on the race, checked out, pulled away. For a phenomenal 3 points. So just the 15 to go. Hope you've enjoyed the meeting. It's been a little bit longer tonight than we thought it might be, due to the incidents that we've had. Jordan Jenkins and Cameron Heeps have both withdrawn from tonight. They've walked away from their incidents. Cam Heeps unbelievably walked away, but they will be incredibly sore. A bit of respite needed for them over the next couple of days before they get back in the saddle again for the Cheetahs. So we'll just keep an eye on the pits and see if we can see any helmet colours, any helmets going on. My guess, Sam Masters red, Mitch McDiarmid blue, Steve Worrall white, Jake Allen yellow. What do you reckon? That's my guess. I might be wrong. To be fair, Danyon HUME, 2 wins from his last 2 rides. He would be worthy of a shout for 15 as well. He looks superb in his last 2 races. 6 paid 9, I think, for Danyon from his 4 rides. Super Sam in red, I've got no doubt about that. So on your camera there, what you can see on the right-hand side, the first pit bay, that's Sam Masters. You can just see Sam shot there. So you can just see the two team managers there, middle screen. David Howe and Peter Schroeck, getting interviewed by Richard. Yeah, Mitch McDiarmid's got a blue helmet in his hand. It'd be crazy not to put him in, to be honest. As much as Danyon has been exceptional, we've got no Cameron Heeps, we've got no Jordan Jenkins, sorry. We have a Francis Gusts. He deserves more than his 3 points, to be honest, tonight. He dropped one from the start line, didn't get off the start in one, packed up in the other one, and then battled all the way in that last heat, but just couldn't get up alongside Simon Lambert. And Simon bringing home that point. It means Simon scored in all of his rides tonight. That's something for him to take away from it. He'd obviously like a few more points, but so Sam Masters red, Mitch McDiarmid blue. Is it DIARMID? DIARMID or DIARMID? Sorry, Mitch, if I'm getting your name, pronouncing your surname wrong. DIARMID. It's my West Country twang. Doesn't come out properly. But it will be Mitch McDiarmid in blue, Sam Masters red. And Steve Worrall, I think that's a white helmet colour I can see from here. So just to the right of your screen is the away pits. I'm pretty sure I can see Steve Worrall with a white helmet colour on here. So who would your rider of the night be from an Oxford perspective? Sam Masters or Mitch McDiarmid? Danyon HUME, close third place. Cam was looking good until that big incident. Cam probably would have walked away with a 3-pointer there, and it would have given Peter Schroeck a slightly different look on this heat. So there you can see Steve Worrall in the white helmet colour. No surprises. I don't think anyone's going to give me surprises for picking them 4, really. I think most of you would have done that at home. You can see Jamie Courtney on the mid-screen on the rail with Luke Killeen. Luke 4 points from 5 rides, but was on the gas, on the pace, was in point scoring positions in those rides where he ran 3 lasts. On 2 of them occasions he was in the mix. And there we can see Jake Allen in yellow. No prizes for me. That's for sure. So 1 heat to go. It's a heat that is sponsored by Cab Direct. They sponsor the championship this year. Dave Wazzy's been our referee. He'll get that 2 minutes on in a minute. Like I say, a slightly longer evening than we anticipated, but the fact we saw their boys get up and walk away, that is all that matters. So 2 minutes are on. 1 heat to go. Hope you've enjoyed it with us. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for buying the stream, watching this evening. Like I said earlier on, we'll be showing all of the Chargers, Spires and Cheetahs meetings, unless TNT or BSN are here, in which case we'll hand over the camera and the mic to them, and they can take you through the action. The rest of the time we will be here. So, big heat 15. Off the inside in red is going to be Sam Masters. Off of gate 2 in white will be Stevie Worrall. Off gate 3 in blue will be Mitch McDiarmid. And off the outside in yellow will be Jake Allen. Cab Direct, they sponsor this heat. It's a big heat. Oxford will want to try and get over that 50-point mark. Likewise, Scunthorpe, they'll want to get over that 40-point mark. And I'll tell you what, this heat could go anyway. Any of these 4 can jump out the start here and win it. And it wouldn't surprise me if any of them did. Rider of the night from a away perspective, probably looking at Jake Allen. Aside from that exclusion, he's looked pretty good tonight. Jake, pretty fast. Steve Worrall as well. Connor Mountain with a win in there. And Luke Harrison 6 points from reserve. So 1 heat to go. See the tie, is that a tie Woffenden logo on Mitch McDiarmid's right arm there at the top? I think it possibly is. Anyway, let's go on. Heat 15, Sam Masters, Mitch McDiarmid, Steve Worrall, Jake Allen, 1 more heat to go, big 15, Start Master walks away, green light comes on. Oh, a bit of movement, will the referee bring it back or will he let it run into that first turn? It's a tight first turn. Sam Masters, Steve Worrall, Jake Allen, change of direction up the inside to join his teammate, which pushes Mitch McDiarmid to the back, but Sam Masters, he's got the lead. Steve Worrall looking up the inside, as is Jake Allen. Sam Masters, he's not going to be able to pause this for 1 second. He's got the Scunthorpe boys all over his back wheel. Mitch McDiarmid just tailed off a tiny bit in this one. Big heat for him. Credit for getting a call up for heat 15, but just a step too far forward this evening. But Sam Masters, as you'd expect him to do, superb gate, got over the top. Inside, Stevie Worrall's really tight going into that first 2 turns, but Steve Worrall's right on his back wheel. Mitch McDiarmid is not giving up, he's really pushing. But there's 1 lap to go. Will this heat change hand? Nah, this is how it's going to end. It's going to end with a Sam Masters win. He's going to pick up 3 points. 49 points for the home side. Stevie Worrall in second, Jake Allen in third, Mitch McDiarmid 4th place for him. But no shame in that. Credit to be picked for heat 15. It means that it's 49-41. So the away side do crack the 40-point mark. The home side don't crack the 50-point mark. But it's another win for Sam Masters. Just 1 point drop this evening for him. Like we say, credit where it's due for Mitch McDiarmid for getting himself into 15. Jake Allen picks up another point, as does 2 points for Steve Worrall. Some back wheel action from all 4 of them. That's what we want to see. That's what the fans want to see. Fire flares go off on the centre green. Win for Sam Masters, 2nd for Steve Worrall. Jake Allen in 3rd, Mitch McDiarmid in 4th. That was the finishing order of Heat 15 that was sponsored by Cab Direct. It means we do end 49-41. And a victory and points on the board for the home side. It was another win off of 1. 1 and 2 really came into the ascendancy at the back end of that meeting. Gate 1 giving us, 4 heat winners, I think, in the last 4 or 5 races. Yeah, Mitch McDiarmid, it was really tight going down that back straight for the first time. The front 3 were all on top of each other. A real battle going down that back straight. But Sam Masters, once he gets his wheels in line and gets out front here, it takes a lot of catching. to pull him in. And Mitch McDiarmid, he didn't leave it alone. He kept on the gas. He kept pushing and kept trying all the way, but just could not get up to challenge the scorers there. So that is our evening. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you'd enjoyed that action. Decent race to finish on. Another good win for Sam Masters. I think him or Mitch McDiarmid will walk away with the rider of the night. For the home side, that wouldn't surprise me one little bit. So there you go, 49-41. Congratulations to the Cheetahs. Unlucky for the Scorpions. A good night had by the majority of riders. Just Declan Kennedy there with 1 point for the away side. He'll want to improve on that the next time they're out. We hope that Cameron Heeps and Jordan Jenkins are okay. We wish them all the very best and hope they're back in Cheetahs colours soon. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep your eyes peeled, whether it's Oxford TV, any other club streams or BSN. Get yourself watching if you can't get down to track. And continue to enjoy your speedway. My name's Lee Kilby from me and Eloise, who is in charge of cams tonight. And Martin behind the scenes. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening and we'll see you soon. Good night.